Hey, yo, what's good? What's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the Road Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Crooked. We got DJ Never.
Yo, what up?
DJ D Miles.
Yes, sir.
DJ, no, not a DJ, Jamie the Great.
Yeah.
And then we have a special guest by way of Miami, really well-known DJ producer, DJ Konflikt in the building.
Yes.
No clapping though.
Either one.
You didn't want any clapping.
You was like chill with that.
Oh,
Thanks for joining us.
thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. You flew in early, right?
I'm excited. Actually, I flew in maybe a day ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
you've been here.
because I was what did I do? I did a San Diego, Mexico, Houston run. So instead of going back to Miami, I just decided to come here. So like I'm cutting down on cross country travel as much as I can now.
Okay.
Because those like 5-hour, 6-hour flights really drain you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So whenever I have an opportunity to stay on one side of the country for an extended period of time, I'll take it.
Yeah, my brother freaked me out about planes because he's like, there's radiation. So like the longer you're in planes, like the more radiation you absorb.
It's a very small,
Really?
it's a very small percentage.
Yeah.
And what I would say is there aren't a lot of flight attendants or pilots dying from cancer all day, so we're okay.
Yeah.
They fly way more than we do.
He's kind of like a weirdo about shit like that.
Yeah.
But you're on Instagram Live right now, right?
I am still on Instagram Live, yeah.
You're like a marketing freak.
I am a marketing freak, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's...
We should get in. We should talk about that.
He's a Gary V of DJing with the marketing shit.
But you're really into like the analytics and the numbers and the logistics of how it all of marketing, of like social media marketing.
At first I was, and then I realized all you have to do is just be real and put out good content, and then the numbers don't matter.
But you want to be out there as much as possible.
Right now, yeah, because I think that there's a whole generation of kids that need to know who we are, and they're not going to come out to the club and get it, but they get it through this medium. So they'll understand us if we speak their language.
Do you ever feel like people are going to get tired of seeing you and hearing you?
If they do, they can just not watch. But if they want to watch, I want them to have something to watch or hear or see.
Is it more important to you? Because I always think about this with marketing. Is it more important to have as much content as possible, or to have just have a quality of content once in a while?
Both.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get both though.
I think you can.
You can?
Yeah, I think
I don't think there's anyone who successfully does both.
Well, so I've thought about that. So what do I want to do? Do I want to put out 3 pictures a day that are okay, or 1 picture every 2 or 3 days that's really good? And I think that both have upsides and downsides.
See, like you really think about this shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't really think about it like that. Maybe because I don't think about it because I had like a retail, like a clothing company, and I had to think about that for that company so much. I didn't want to do that with my DJ shit
Yeah.
because it became like annoying.
Yeah.
So with my DJ shit, I just wanted to be like a feeling or like a vibe. Like, oh, I'll just post this shit.
Right.
I'll just do this.
I could totally see that. So my end is always play for more people in more places. So that's the goal. So how do I get to that goal?
What's your goal?
To play for more people in more places. So the more active I can be as a DJ, the better.
So you want to do like a festival?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Nah, I don't think that's, not really. Just, I guess, volume of nightclubs, right? So if I'm at every good nightclub playing for a lot of people.
What is your goal as a DJ?
As a DJ?
Yeah.
It's fluid. So it'll
What do you mean, like liquid money?
something like that. So
Liquid money?
it's fluid in regards to the timing. So if you ask me when I'm DJing, what's my goal as a DJ? It's to play really good and make people have a good time.
I don't know. What is
A career goal.
like a career goal? What's a career
Like-
success, like a highlight?
Your finish line.
Like if I talk to Vice, he wants to do like probably a festival where the whole world is there.
Yeah.
I'm not really into festivals just because I feel like they have not a negative connotation, but because of the way that they've been structured recently, festivals to me are just a money grab. They're not like about the vibe, the feeling, the actual customers or patrons that go.
Are you talking about like an EDM festival, or this is a Mid-America festival?
EDM.
I think it's
More
pretty much
EDM.
known now that festivals are just kind of everywhere. It's like every weekend
Right.
in the summer.
So long-term finish line goal, I don't
Yeah.
know, be on Ellen.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I beat you there, buddy. I was on Ellen already.
All right.
Do you think like social media has changed the way you approach DJing?
Of course.
I mean, while you're DJing too.
While I'm DJing,
Like you turn on your phone and you're going live or whatever.
As long as it doesn't affect what I'm doing to a noticeable extent, I will do my best to catalog what's happening.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're pretty good at getting selfies in and doing certain things.
Right. So it looks that way just because I've learned to time it properly.
Yeah.
So like I know when I'm about to play a Put Your Hand Up record, a Khaled song, All I Do Is Win, or a house breakdown, or I know the confetti's about to go off, or I coordinate because there's going to be a cryo shot, or I know I'm right at the right time to get the phone out. I will budget a few seconds and have the next song ready, pull out the phone, open it, do what I have to do, and then just hit record, hit the picture, and then keep going. So it's just a matter of a little bit of planning in advance and then having a good exit
It's
strategy.
really cerebral for you, though, right? You really
Well,
plan ahead.
Yeah.
Because I've heard I listen to your podcast whenever I can, or like when I have time and stuff, and you really get cerebral. And like I remember you were talking about there was one when you were talking about the mic, like doing shit on the mic.
Yeah.
Early one.
And you went as far as to like, and I mean, I think it's a weird thing that you were like explaining how you EQ your voice.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing where I'll turn down the bass because I probably have a bassier voice than other people. But and then like I think you were talking about how you hold, like how you position the mic when you talk.
Sure.
And it was very like a YouTube cerebral thing. And I feel like your podcast,
Yeah.
it's very, you want to get into, you really want to like, you want to be like not instruction manual, but you want to be like
Educational?
a how-to
Sure.
kind of for DJing.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that more of the focus on the podcast?
Definitely.
Because and the way you think, I feel like the way you do it, you almost wanted, I don't know, like you're very disciplined. Like you're setting yourself up with these.
Yeah.
You're like a very, very, very technical boxer.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I know that it's
It's military-esque. It's
yeah.
almost
Yeah,
military.
yeah.
So
Like
I've-
straight lines.
I like efficiency because I have to work less. So it might
Yeah.
seem like I'm working harder up front, but really what I'm doing is saving myself work on the back end. When it comes to what I explain on my podcast, like talking on the microphone, and I know a lot of people in this room know how their voice sounds when they talk. So you'll EQ the microphone according to get the best sound possible.
Well,
right?
some people don't, but yeah.
Some people don't. I mean, if
You have studio knowledge.
Sure.
I have studio knowledge.
Sure.
A lot of people don't get it. You know what I mean?
But-
They don't even know like when they're about to like yell on the mic to move back on the mic. You know what I mean? And certain
Right.
things like that. But I think it just takes practice.
I agree. So when I do break these things down, I think it takes a lot of years to know or to figure out how to voice these things, because I can't explain something I don't know in and out like really, really, really well. And like that is something that we've been doing for so long that I could break it down and explain it in a way that it would be beneficial to an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old DJ that's coming up.
Right.
So we're working, I think, against the current in regards to the ease of entry to our field. So if we can grow a crop of good DJs, then what we do can stay active longer. That's how I feel about it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of. But I think you're really cerebral about
Sure.
it. I have a question that
Yeah.
I feel like, so sometimes I look into the details
Yeah.
a lot on stuff, and I'm super organized. I work with Jamie a lot
Yeah.
on this, and
Yeah.
it probably gets to a point where it's annoying, right?
No, I gotta learn the disciplinacy of it.
I get annoyed like really fucking easily.
Okay.
It's like, yo, you left this cable here. What?
But I
When-
see that same kind of that devotion to organization, efficiency, and the discipline. And do you get just as frustrated?
No.
You don't.
No, I don't get. I try not to get frustrated.
I can see you getting frustrated. Like if someone doesn't have the same respect for those little things and those things. So like, you know what I'm saying though, right?
The only time I think I'll get frustrated is when someone doesn't have respect for what we do. Like the micros, like where'd you put that cable? Why is this out of place? When it comes to work, I think that hinders efficient working toward the long run. So if like, let's say for example, we were here setting up the studio prior to you starting. If right before we start recording, you're like, where's that cable? Oh my God, this is wrong. This is over here. We got to put this over there. It's like your whole vibe's thrown off for when we actually start working. So I think in the creative space, the less frustration you have, the better that your creativity can shine through. So when it comes to this, no. Personal life, or like, maybe if I'm waiting at the DMV for 6 hours for some bullshit, can I curse? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Then yeah.
Can you curse?
Then yes.
Ellen listens, bro. So I don't curse.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But so like, what do you call it? In your experience, what were some of the questions that they were talking about?
I got
Oh,
Jamie. So I actually
because I've actually talked with certain people.
Yeah.
And they seem sometimes like you're on edge.
Oh, like I'm like jumpy.
Yeah, they are like you're edgy.
Okay.
Like and I kind of attributed that to like maybe he wants it to go a certain way.
I care a lot.
Yeah.
I care a lot about what I do and the space that we're in, because it's given me everything I have.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel a duty to try to convey the best reflection of myself in that space, and the best representation of a person that works in that space. To the outside world, I think, those memes that are like what my parents think I do, what my girlfriend thinks I do, what I really do, and like what the world thinks I do. So I think that the world is uneducated to what we do to a large extent, and a lot of times they get fed misinformation based on popular culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the better that we can represent what we do, I think the better off we are. When we go to argue with a manager, when we go to ask for more money, when there's a budget being set for a nightclub, we can step up and be like, hey, this is important because X, Y, or Z. And if the first thing they think is some clown shit or a meme, then you're not going to get what you're asking for.
Right.
So yeah, I could totally see how people think I'm edgy. I definitely am intense when it comes to certain things.
Because like when I DJ, and you guys can attribute. I mean, you
go
guys
ahead.
have seen me like I'm unapproachable.
Yeah.
I seem unapproachable.
Right. You have asshole face?
I don't.
It's not
I
even.
just-
It's like
it's
don't
his own
approach
end.
me, shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's looking at the mixer.
So
the
when
crowd
people
mixing.
get the idea that I could be an asshole,
Sure.
or like they don't want to talk to me,
Sure.
or they might talk to me and I might look at them, but I'm like in the middle of a mix, so I kind of don't really acknowledge it as much as I should. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get that all the time. So when I heard it about like from like different people, like yo, that dude like he just was like real edgy, or like
man.
like tough stuff like that.
Well, what
And
I
was
was-
like, wow, he was probably in the middle of some shit. Or
What
he
I,
was
what
doing
I
some
would
shit.
love
Yeah.
is if somebody who's in our industry, and potentially a colleague or somebody close by, whether maybe a promoter or manager, whatever, if it's another DJ, that's cool too. If they think I'm edgy and they want to have a conversation, maybe wait until I look a little less edgy, even though I'm not edgy, because I'm doing what I love, and then say, hey, are you okay? Like, you seemed a little edgy, or is there something wrong, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I go to the club and I say hello to you and you look a little flustered, I'm gonna wait for my opening and be like, yo, is everything cool? Are you okay? Is there something you need? Well, yeah, I have a bunch of people outside, or I didn't have a good day. Whatever the case might be, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
So if somebody feels a certain way, I would just want them to tell me about it first.
That doesn't work though.
Yeah.
That's not how it works though. You know what I mean?
I mean, even though you look edgy, you're still having fun, right?
But I'm just curious.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I'm just curious because I've heard it, but I also see some of your videos and I hear your podcasts. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this dude seems like sometimes we can be a slave to our.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look, you're absolutely right on the button in this one space that you're being critical, which I appreciate. And it's that I don't represent enough fun
Right.
in the brand.
I don't either. Yeah.
Like I have to definitely put out more fun content, more have fun moments, because at the end of the day, it's a large part of what we do.
But do you? I mean, I think you should just be yourself, and if it just comes out that way.
Well, but it is me too. I like having fun. But
It doesn't sound like it.
the thing is, my version of fun might not be the standard.
What is your version of fun?
I like to go box, like boxing.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like to, train martial arts. I like to go to the gym. I like shooting. I like competitive shooting.
Okay.
I like to go out in nature where I don't have phone reception. I like smelling mountain air. Like those kind of things are not things that you can quantify into a video and then put out into the world. So my version of fun might not be the best representation of fun as understood by pop culture, I guess.
You've been kickboxing for a while, right? I think.
Yeah, I actually did the math the other day. It's been a third of my life at this point.
Wow. So what? 10 years?
Just about 10 years.
I'm like, I don't know.
without giving away your age. About
Yeah.
10 years.
But like, can I say this?
No, just say it.
No, hold on.
Come
So
on.
when you're DJing,
Yeah.
you're not smiling and stuff like that, because I see you DJ.
I definitely have been trying to push myself to
Because
to be
I
better.
feel when I used to see you,
Yeah.
when Darren years back,
Yeah.
you seem more amped up, and now it's more like
Really?
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw me play?
earlier this year.
Once?
I met you.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Where was
when
it?
I met
At Hyde?
Yeah.
Was it one time?
This last time, yeah, it was one time.
Was there a
but
lot
I've
of-
seen you before,
Yeah.
previous times,
So you've seen me? Okay.
like years ago. So I don't know if it's like,
Was there a lot of DJs there?
nah, it was just me and Darren.
There's always a lot of DJs when you play.
Yeah. So that's the only time that I get real nervous, when there's other DJs in the booth or around
Really?
me, or yeah,
Why is that?
because you guys are my colleagues. So it's like I want to
We're
do
extra judgmental.
maybe, but I want to do the best that I can in that space, because the crowd is relatively easy to navigate at this point, right? It's like just play what they want to hear.
But you stay focused on the crowd. You don't try to.
You guys are part of the crowd if you're behind me or next to me.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest mistake a DJ could do.
Tell me.
Is care about who's in the booth.
I think
Unless it's a celebrity.
I think it's natural because I kind of
Whoa. Time out. Explain.
Because the manager and the club owners care about the celebrity that's in the booth. So you got to make that celebrity happy. After that
Okay.
point, the
And
dance
press.
floor.
Mhm.
After that
Press.
point, the dance floor doesn't matter.
Okay, I
you
understand.
know, it's like if there's a big table with LeBron's there. Like at that point, LeBron is all that matters.
Yeah. So why is it? Why do you think it's
I don't
not?
think DJs matter at all, because no matter what, me myself, I'm going into this room and I'm seeing what you're gonna do to this room, and I'd rather be a fly in the wall. Like I don't know, like about you guys, but the best part to me when I was starting to DJ would be going into a club, staying in a corner, and just listening to the dude for 3 hours. And how he handled
I
the
used to
room.
do that, yeah.
The last thing I wanted is a motherfucker to be like, well, I think Crooked likes 90s shit, so I'm gonna start doing like a 90s MOP set. And that's the last thing I want to
impress
hear.
him,
Yeah, I want to see, like, if you have a corny, cheesy crowd in front of you, I want to see you play like Mambo No. 5 and do something crazy on the mic, and I'll be like, yo, I would never play that, but that motherfucker just played the shit out of
Like-
that, and he killed it.
Like one of my friends
You know?
was at Commonwealth that you did
Yeah.
a few months ago, I think like a month ago. He said you killed it and
Yeah.
you were having fun.
Of course.
And I was like, fuck, I wish I was there.
Yeah.
Because,
Well, you should come out.
I was working that night too. but yeah, that was just like, I was like,
I think that maybe
it's a better space. Like,
maybe the night that you saw me play where you thought it was kind of tight, maybe something else was going on. Maybe there was people there that I had to take care of. Maybe my focus was shifted in a lot of different areas, so I wasn't able to like let loose as much as possible.
Maybe there was 4 bottle service presentations. in a
Maybe
row.
there was a couple. Yeah. So in regards
had to
to
play the theme from Batman or
some shit.
like that.
in regards to the whole, I'm not playing for the DJs.
Yeah.
What I do when I have colleagues around, the reason why I get nervous is because I want to sound as tight as possible.
And clean
It's
as
not
possible.
and clean as possible. It's not necessarily that I'm like, oh, Darren likes this, D-Miles likes this, Crooked likes that. I'm just trying to play as good as I can. So the DJs can, because look, I want to say that 15 to 20% of the bookings that I get are from other DJs. DJs that are like, yo, I want to play with you, come to my venue, come to my club. They talk to their general managers, they talk to their bookers, and we're going to have dinner. I'll play the club with them. They talk to me. They might ask questions. We get to play together, and it's a fun experience overall. So that's why I think it's an important part of my formula, my product, to always sound as good as possible, but even more so when there's DJs around.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I think I'm at a point where I don't really care.
Yeah.
Don't? Nah.
know if I do.
Why is that? You mean you don't care about other DJs, or you don't care about DJing?
or impressing.
No, I don't care.
DJs
Even if
being
I
in the
fuck
booth?
up, I really don't care. Like if it's something sloppy, I'll just laugh.
Do you think that that's a problem?
Huh?
Do you think that's a problem? You know how many kids in a 10-mile radius would probably like kill somebody for the jobs you get?
No, I mean, doesn't mean I don't care about the job.
Okay.
I don't care about what
Impressing another
what
DJ.
people
think.
what another DJ thinks of my set.
Okay, got it.
I don't care if they think like, yo, that was really technically dope.
But as long as you do well with the crowd.
yeah, that's all I really care
Got
about.
it. Okay.
I really don't care about what they think, like, oh, his scratches were off, or this shit or
Yeah.
that, and everything like that.
Yeah, but
That's
I've
but I
heard-
used to. I used to.
I've
But
heard
I
you
don't.
play though. I think once you get to a certain amount of years under your belt, like you have this timing that I think comes with being a veteran, that is like inescapable at a certain point. Like you can't sound bad unless you really tried, because it's so ingrained in you, your timings and everything. You might mess up a mix here and there. We all do all the time, but your timing that you have is like the pinnacle of DJing. I think when pass a certain threshold and everything's just tight, crisp in the pocket. Like one song's fading out, the other one's coming in perfectly, and it's just boom every time. So,
well, you're a veteran, no?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
But your shit. I know what he's saying, because your shit is like 0 to none sometimes. That you can't even tell.
Right.
Like it just goes in so fucking smooth.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Pause.
To the naked ear, Crooked's mistakes, no one ever hear it except him.
Right.
I hear mistakes.
A lot of your own mistakes.
Yeah, that's
But
why
the average
I don't
consumer
sweat
would-
it,
a
because
consumer
I
would
hear
never hear
so
it.
many mistakes, and then I hear other DJs that just, you know, the best DJs. Sometimes I hear it, like they don't follow BPMs at all, and they'll be on like 100, and then they'll just drop, like they won't even say anything on the mic to transition it. They'll just drop like Cardi B, Bodak Yellow,
70.
and I see the crowd like wild the fuck out, and I'm like,
The
you know, I'm not mad at that.
The crowd is not paying attention to the mix.
Well, I'm not, but
They just
at the
want to
same
hear. They
time,
just want to hear the right song.
I'm like, yo, you felt like the energy made that okay, and that sounded okay to me. Like it didn't, like it did. I obviously didn't follow the BPM. I don't know if I technically could have done that.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I respect that kind of balls too, to just drop some shit like that from the one. I learn more from a really bad DJ than a really good DJ. I'd rather hear a bad DJ.
Well, because you might pick up things that you didn't think of because you're a good DJ. You're like, oh, I didn't think about dropping the Bodak Yellow out of nowhere.
No. I think a bad DJ is way more entertaining than a good DJ.
Like, he really did that shit, yo.
Huh?
Like he really did that. He went
there's
there.
like the best, most memorable shit. I mean, I can't really
Well,
say
there's
that,
an element
but
of recklessness.
recklessness, and it's just kind
And
of like
like
he doesn't know what he's doing, but the chaos. But then there's a beauty in the chaos. You're like, oh my god, he doesn't even know what he just did,
But he did it.
and I'm gonna take that little seed, and I'm gonna grow like a fucking, I don't know, like I'm gonna make a whole garden out of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and when you hear a good DJ, I feel like when you hear a good DJ, sometimes they're a slave to like old mixes, or like, or they're a slave to technical. They've been, you know, like, and I hear it in myself sometimes, like, I'm like, oh my god, you're doing this again, or you're like, you're doing, like, you're going into the same habits.
Isn't that your creativity telling you, hey, it's time to switch it up?
It is.
That's what I was gonna say. I think
Just listen.
But no. But then it's sometimes the crowd, like, oh, I switched it up, and they weren't ready. I got, you know, and then you just got to do what works sometimes.
Well, but that's there's a lot of parallels between I think comedy and DJing, right? So you have like a joke, right? You have your joke that you know works every time. The setup, the punchline, ha, laughs. You get the payoff, right? So you do your joke over and over and over, and then one day you're like, I'm tired of this. I want to try a different one. So you come up with a new joke. You try it one time, flat. Nobody laughs because you just started doing it. So you got to sharpen it up. All right, let's take these words out. Let's try this. You try it again. Someone in the back laughs. You're like, oh, okay, so this joke might have some legs. Let me keep pushing. So then you keep sharpening that joke until it becomes your new joke.
Yeah.
And you can discard the old one. The same creative process, I think, applies to different mixes. So if you find, and I find myself sometimes being like, oh man, I'm doing this shit again. So that means next time I'm going to try something different. And the first time it might not work that well. But then the second time it'll get better, the third time better, and the fourth time. And then by the fifth time, that's when people start stealing your shit. And they're like, oh, this is good. I'm going to start doing that. And I'm like, fuck, man, I just went through all this trouble to refine this one thing.
I mean, I think it's a very similar process we all go through. But I mean, that whole thing where you're kind of like dreading, or like you're like, oh, I'm doing, like, it's not even the same mixes. It could be like the same sensibilities of just what you do.
Right.
And then making the same mistake sometimes. Like, I already know, like, this room, like, let's say this room, there's a club out here that's like really uber top 40 white in the beginning of the night. And then towards after 1 a.m., it just becomes like super like different, like it becomes hood, like black, Asian, like Latino, all of a sudden urban. Yeah. So it just becomes like super hip hop. I don't know. I'm just not following the same recipe because I want to be different.
Yeah.
Because I want to like be creative. I want to be like, oh, let me like go this way and see if they're going to fuck with it. I'm like, oh, they're not going to fuck with it. Of course, they want to hear this shit. So then you start like kind of reworking your set around that, if that makes any sense.
It does. But I think you're trying to color outside the lines when you should, in my opinion, of course, change the color that you're using inside the lines. So it's like you can only push a crowd so far. Like if it's a top 40 crowd, I can't play X music, whatever it might be, for too long, because then they're like, this is boring, stop. No, you don't understand. This is good. Just listen. That's not going to work. But I can I can push the boundaries of what they want to hear, and then come up with cooler ways of playing shit music. That's how I see it.
I don't know if that's effective. I think it sounds good.
Okay.
I think it verbally sounds like
Sure.
a recipe that might work. But
I mean, I don't know. How could I make you a believer?
well, I think like we had Zimmy on the show, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the shit that he said was amazing. But it's also one of those things where it's really hard to execute a lot of that shit. And it takes a lot of work to execute that shit.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to, I think, well, it's not easy, but I think having the foresight to know and to like say these conceptual things and being like, well, this is, you know, like this is the direction, and that takes talent in itself. But there's also a talent to really execute it and get it done right. And I think that's why, like, I don't know, I think as much as we try to be creative, as much as we want to be in a creative space, there are DJs that I hear being creative and I think it sounds awful. I'm like, this is not effective.
I know exactly what you're saying.
And I'm just like, yo, you should have just
dropped the record.
just dropped the record.
Yeah.
You're just overdoing the
they're
shit.
doing too much
Yeah, you're
scratching.
just
But
doing like,
that's-
and to me, it's like, or you're just being way too creative. And to me, I'm just like,
There's no need for that.
It's going
Look,
over people's heads.
well, it's not even that. Like, I'm a DJ and I don't care, so I know the crowd doesn't give a
Well,
shit.
that's the fine art,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's the finding that little space where the DJs will go, oh, that was dope, and the crowd still dances and they enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the space that I think a real good DJ needs to occupy, as much as they can anyway.
Do you? So, how would you describe your style of DJing?
I don't know. I like making people dance. I like for people that I'm playing for to have a good time. That's it. Whatever afterwards is bonus.
Well,
It's a more open format set for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. Look, when I play in Boston at Whiskey Saigon, I'm playing 90% EDM music still, because those kids are going to college the whole week, and the weekend comes and they don't want to hear shit about homework or responsibilities. So they're there at 11:30, and they want to dance until 2 with a cutoff, and they want to drink and they want to have fun. They don't want to think. They want to be numb. They want to enjoy the music, enjoy other people. So you go hard, 90% EDM, and maybe a few breaks in between to let them catch their breath. In Houston, I just played there on Sunday. I play 90%, 95% hip hop. So it really just depends on the venue and the city that I'm playing in at any given time. At Hyde tonight, I'm playing open format, which is a mixture between Boston and Houston altogether.
Yeah.
And who are your influences like for DJing?
I never had a lot of them. When I've always been late to everything. So we were talking about where I was born. I was born in Argentina. I came to this country when I was 4. My parents immigrated to Miami. I never had the exposure to classic American music. So the first time I heard Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, Mr. Mauricio was playing in Mansion in Miami, I was probably like 21. So that's the first time I ever heard that. And I never pursued classic rock and roll music or 80s music. This is all stuff that I had to learn after the fact. Right? So your original question was, I was going somewhere with that. Influences.
who was your influence?
So once I actually got to the point of playing nightclubs on a regular basis, I didn't have enough time to go out and catch other DJs. I never like said, oh, I want to try to be like this guy or emulate that guy, because I never got the chance to hear them live. And
So what made you just become a DJ? You just like, oh, I like music, or
I
you didn't see like Jazzy Jeff or AM?
I caught AM one time,
Uh-huh.
and I listened to his mixes after he passed.
Okay.
A lot of them. I was 14 years old, and I had like $100 from a birthday, and eBay was just popping at the time. It was like, I don't remember what year it was, but it was still early enough that you didn't want to put your credit card on the internet, but late enough where you could buy shit on the internet. So I got a cashier's check for $100 and sent it to some dude who sent me a turntable and a mixer and 2 records.
What turntables were they?
Which records?
It was a Gemini DD50 belt drive turntable. It was I don't remember the exact mixer, but I know it had a needle readout. If you guys remember the set of LED like lights, it had a needle. And then the 2 records were Ja Rule, Holla Holla, and Jizza, Breaker Breaker.
Wait, what made you want to start DJing?
My cousin was into breakdancing, and we would like watch breakdancing videos. And then I was like, okay, I guess this is cool. let's see what other things, because I'm not really a dancer. What other shit is in the sphere? And it was like DJing.
So this had to be like in '99, right?
Right about there, yeah.
Yeah, even was like,
Nailed it.
Say holla holla, ja Rule.
Right.
Was Mauricio one of your influences? I guess coming up in Miami.
So
like scoping you as a DJ.
for sure, and I only caught him one time for a full set. When I was like 23 or 24, I went to go listen to him play in the main room because those were my aspirations at the time. I worked the side room and I was like, all right, I'm making X amount of dollars in here. Main room's got to be making this much. College is a joke. Fuck this. I'm out of here. I just got to get in the main room, not a bachelor's degree. So I heard him play one night for about 90 minutes, and it was the most flawless, perfect thing I've ever heard in my life. And I was like, oh man, that's what I need to do. Like I got to get to there. And that, I guess, would be one of the molding pieces to my career. But other than that, I can't think of too many. You know, there's other DJs in Miami, like when I would hear DJ Effect talk on the microphone, he would exude this confidence and just audacity that it would be fantastic. Like he was talking to people, almost talking down to them, and they would still cheer.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, if you have $500 in your bank account, I need you to put your hands up right now. And people would be like, yeah. And I'd be like, yo, that's like not that much money. And people are out there like putting their hands up. I didn't understand it. I was looking at it from a super, I guess, outside of the party mode idea. Yeah. So like I'm, you know, just a regular person on the street. Like, you have $500 on your bank account, put your hands up, and be like, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? There's certain things that fly in the club that I didn't understand that these veteran DJs helped put me onto, for sure.
Yeah.
Would you say that in Miami, growing up in Miami, is it pretty similar to a New York style of DJing?
I've been in New York very, very seldomly, but I imagine that it's similar because
like
of
an East Coast,
the dynamic of the crowd.
Also, the type of music, right? I would say a lot of the Miami dudes have a very close to New York style or East Coast style. I would say, yeah. But how would you say like the Miami sound is, or like the DJing side of it is?
So it's a boot camp because we're open till 5 a.m. And sometimes later if the owner wants to stick around. I think the rule is you have to, unless you have a 24-hour liquor license, you have to close for 1 hour, meaning you can't sell liquor for 1 hour. So clubs will pick 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. to stop selling liquor. Technically, they can stay open, but they're like, no one's spending money. It's tired. You know, it's late. Let's just close. So what happens in Miami, your question is, how would I describe the style? The boot camp that goes on is like, if you're a headliner, you might be playing 1 to 5, 1 to 4. It's a very long, stretched out set. So you learn how to budget music. You learn how to hold the hits back. You might not play that top hit till 2:30, 2:45, because you need that to carry the momentum to the later hours of the night. If everybody, in my experience, if everyone hears what they came to listen for early, then there's no upside to them staying late. They're like, I already got my favorite song, plus that other song I kind of like, I'm out of here. But if you wait and you hold back those energies until the middle of the night, late portion of the night, people will be like, oh, second wind, you know? So the style in Miami is definitely, it's dynamic, but at the same time, it's kind of laid back in regards to the energy because you can't go full blast. And then in regards to the music that gets played, it's everything. I mean, there's nights where you could play 15 minutes of straight reggae, and it works because you might have a small group of island people that might be in the club and they drive the energy for everybody. You could play 30 minutes of Spanish music and it's cool because everyone speaks Spanish anyway. Yeah. And then you can play hip hop, you can play EDM depending on the night and the club that you're at. So overall, it's a very eclectic space where you can get away with a lot of things as long as you do them the right way.
I think Miami was one of the first nightclubs or one of the first club scenes that I went to when I came out of town, that you could play extremely hard house and extremely hard hip hop.
Right.
And it was like to the point where you're like, yo, this is really fucking aggressive. Like I can't even get away with this shit in like Vegas, but you could get away with like doing Rick Ross set.
Yeah.
I mean, and then doing like a hard tribal house set, and it was like crazy. But then if I went back to New York or Vegas, you can't get away with that shit. Kind of it had to be a little bit more mild.
I think it's because people they know that they're gonna hear everything because they're going to be there for so long. The club's open for such a long time. I think that they would rather listen to things that might not absolutely love rather than hear the same song 8 times.
But don't you think like trap music is itself like that hard hip hop, like that 70 BPM really came out of Miami at a certain point? That hard ass fucking hip hop.
Miami or Atlanta?
Yeah, the South.
Yeah.
But definitely like Miami, but mixed with that tribal, that hard ass house.
Sure.
That hard ass fucking house. It was one of the times when, I don't know, had to be like probably
2010-ish.
Yeah, where it was just like,
that's the first time I heard like
it was
racks
like
on racks on racks.
fucking
Like, they were just
hard ass hip hop,
banging shit,
aggressive ass hip hop, and I'm like, damn.
It probably has to do a lot with the musical history of Miami. So like more recent history, you got Flo Rida, Pitbull, Ross, and things like that
David
coming out of
Byrne,
Miami. And if I miss an artist, sorry, but
Trick Daddy.
So going back to like the late '80s, mid '80s, 2 Live Crew and Uncle Luke, those were like groundbreaking moments for the music business in general. The reason why there's parental advisory labels on albums and why they can be so profane now is because these guys went to court.
Yeah.
Like 2 Live Crew went to court. I think they went to the Supreme Court, right?
They did. Yeah.
So you take that. So it's like, okay, you have the rough element of hip hop. And then at the same time, Ultra Music Festival starts in Miami as like a drum circle on the beach. And then it becomes like one of the biggest EDM concerts in the whole world. So you have this dynamic where on one side you have like the hood shit that like helped all of the stuff that's coming out now be what it is, and on the other side you have the beginnings of EDM festivals on a grand scale as we know them. So these things just kind of hover around together in the nightclub space.
I was very surprised though how accepting they were of hard ass hip hop in Miami on South Beach. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at Live or any place like that, like they were very accepting of it, because at certain points I think in Miami I couldn't even play reggaeton. It was seen as like, I don't know, like
hip hop.
No, you couldn't play reggaeton because it was just
seen as lower class,
like low class.
Right.
But I think there's like a thing, like a Latin thing with the Latinos over there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
changed. So
that's changed.
it depends on the club that you were playing at and the night you were playing at.
But this is a while ago,
right,
like 10
that
years
too.
ago.
Yeah.
So yeah. But it was like, at that time I was like, damn, I'm playing hard ass hip hop, hard ass fucking house, and I can't play any reggaeton.
Yeah.
Like they're not feeling it.
I don't know if
It was
you
a
know.
weird
It's not
time.
that they weren't feeling it. It's probably the managers or whoever was in charge of the music was like, this brings the wrong element to the club.
Yeah.
So they're like, don't do that.
The wrong crowd.
Right. So that's changed a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
It's flipped almost. It's inverted now. You might be playing more reggaeton and hip hop music than
almost
you're
no
playing.
house. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's dope.
Yeah.
I mean, like, past couple times I've been in Miami, like the past few years, a couple years, I do like a fucking 30-minute reggaeton set or whatever. It's amazing.
It's fantastic.
It's dope. Yeah.
Are your bookings more outside of Miami or?
Almost entirely outside of Miami.
Why is that?
Because local rates don't pay as well as out-of-town rates.
Even at like Live or like the bigger clubs?
I don't really play at Live. For a long time, Miami had this thing. Maybe you guys are used to like Vegas. Vegas, I equate it to the Jetsons. Like you guys are 50 years, 60 years of hospitality management, caring for customers, understanding the requirements of having a successful venue, right? Miami was swamp, cocaine, nightclubs in the span of 25, 30 years. So we don't have the experience when it comes to certain things. In Miami for a really long time, it was, if you work here, don't go there. If you work here, you can't work there. And a lot of people would put a hold on how you could make your money based on where you would work.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little bit of a problem for me. And when I saw that a lot of the venue spaces were operating that way, I thought to myself, what else can we do? Right? So I just started working on this out-of-town thing with my agent, Lewis.
Are you saying that you were like kind of getting banned?
No. I wasn't getting banned, but I just saw
Some sort of
I saw
restriction?
a limitation in the marketplace, right? So like if you worked for one group, you can't work for that group. And
They
I was
wanted
like,
you exclusively one.
right,
Yeah.
right. But
Okay,
I was like,
one
yo,
club.
but both these clubs are dope, and like I don't work every day, and there's an opening, like I can't work there. And like, no, you work with us. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, like why would you put a limit on the money I can
Is
make?
it
That's
still
not
like
cool.
that? No.
It's opened up a lot more now.
Yeah.
There's less club. What happened is South Beach took a big hit, I think, because the velvet rope got in the way. So what I mean by that is like door guys were kind of dicks, and then the minimums were really high, and then the drinks were really expensive, and you didn't get in if you were 3 guys and you didn't have any girls, and they'd hit you with a $1,500 minimum for a table, right?
Yeah.
What that does is it creates a counterculture. So now Wynwood and smaller bars and lounges are what's popping because people are like, oh, I can come in with shorts. Oh, I can buy a $3 beer. I don't have to deal with asshole door guy. Yeah, that's where I'm going to go. So like those places are doing volume, and the major nightclubs are slowly like not losing clientele, but there aren't as many as there used to be, and it's not as popping as it was because they ostracized their crowds by being dicks. In my opinion, this is all my opinion, of course. From what I saw, the more open that you are to the public that's coming to spend money at your places, the better off you are. And that's
I don't know. I kind of disagree.
Tell me
a little bit. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think we see it too. Like the bigger nightclub structure is slowly dying.
Well, I want to go back to what he said about having the limitations of like, if you work for this group in Miami, you can't work for the other. I'll tell you, very much so. Las Vegas at the time,
that was alive and well.
We were going through the same.
We
thing.
went through the same thing a couple of like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's about the time.
Maybe it was definitely around that time. I think
an unwritten rule, right?
I think it was definitely happening in New York as well. Like if you were working at like you weren't working at like with the I don't know if you were hopping around the clubs.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it was like you either stayed on one side or you did the other. Same thing in like I remember having a non-compete for 1 year in Vegas because I couldn't switch over to like another club or a group. But yeah, I mean, I think that was happening everywhere.
Okay.
So I think like we were all that, but obviously everything's opened up. Like everyone's everywhere now. Like there's no like it's. I think it's just the floodgates of like when there were less DJs. So when you had that one good DJ, you wanted to hold on to them. And you just knew that, like, I got to hold on to this dude. Now there's like a flood of DJs, so it's like, it doesn't. It's like a free for all. It's like oversaturation of the market. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think the idea of a bottle service nightclub is not relevant now.
Possible
to the young generation.
I think you may be right.
The money value is not there because I think of social media and I think because of phones and apps. I think there's different ways of getting laid. There's more cheaper ways of showing off and flashing than going to a nightclub. So I think as soon as like if 10 years ago, if I wanted to impress a bunch of girls and get laid in a club, I would get a bottle and I would get a table. Now it doesn't really matter if I have 500,000 followers and I'm broke. I can easily get laid because I got 500,000 followers. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the attraction of me being in a nightclub and spending $1,500 for a table, that doesn't make sense to me. Because I can, there's other ways.
If your only end is getting laid, then it doesn't make that much sense.
I think that's almost any reason to go to a nightclub.
All right, so you got.
I know people want to dance and
celebrating a birthday.
Yeah.
I mean, Vegas is a different monster. You're getting married. You have a bachelor party, bachelorette party.
Definitely.
You came with a convention and you have a corporate card. There's a lot of different reasons why someone would not hesitate to drop $1,500 beyond getting laid that night.
Yeah.
Here, maybe in other markets it might be a little different.
Yeah, you're not doing that in LA. For sure. No one's dropping 15 like in a bottle to impress a girl in LA.
Yeah, because everything's comp. I think what fucked it up was when they started building these mega clubs, and then people stopped going buying the bottle. So then everything became comp tables. And as soon as you let the general public know that tables and bottles can get comp, they're like, "We're not fucking paying for this shit."
Yeah.
The second they you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I can't even explain how many girls I know nowadays. Who just go out and then they just hug on. They do that. What is that? That promoter thing. They go to like the comp dinner.
Yeah.
They have like the fixed menu.
Yeah.
And then they go to
menu.
they go to the nightclub and shit. Yeah.
I had a question. When did you first start coming to Vegas? I think you were with Opium Group, and they had. What was Privé at the time,
that was the
right?
first time I visited. Yeah, that was like 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
And I came maybe twice.
Okay.
So they had a club called Privé at the Planet Hollywood.
Yes.
I don't know what that is now.
Privé,
It's not. I'm not sure if
it's nothing
anything.
Now.
I don't think there's anything at Planet Hollywood.
Yeah. So that was the first time I came. And then I actually got real lucky with the Vegas gig, the Hyde gig, as I did with a lot of other gigs. When Miami was real hot, there would be people that came through the city all the time and would drop a business card like, yo, I run a club in blah, blah, blah. I'm from this city. I'm from that city. You sound good. Come play music for us. So I got a business card from somebody at SBE, and they brought me out for a trial at Hyde, and it went well. So then they just started giving me monthlies.
Yeah. Was you with which group at the time?
Yes, at that point I had already established a relationship with Lewis. Yeah, so the Lewis story is kind of interesting. I was looking for management.
Who's Lewis?
Lewis is the guy that owns the Rich Group.
Okay,
Lewis
and
Rich.
that's your management.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I always thought you started that for some reason.
Yeah, I thought
a lot of people do. I was there. I was a very helpful player, but it's not my company.
So were you the first artist, the first DJ on?
I wasn't the first one.
I thought it was you and Joe that owned it, to be honest.
No.
Okay.
Joe Maz, right?
Joe
Yeah,
Maz.
Joe.
Yeah.
No, we don't own it. So he was helping. Lewis was helping other DJs at the time, but there wasn't anything that really clicked. I think he needed the right product because he was the right salesman. And then when we got together, it worked out.
How did you guys get together?
So I was working 4 or 5 nights a week locally, and then when they opened up Privé, there was a DJ swap thing going on with the owners of the club bringing in Vegas DJs, because basically it was like, okay, we're going to give you DJs in Vegas, or we're going to play for you in Vegas, but we also want to play your Miami venue. So they started bringing in out-of-town DJs, and I was like, yo, I didn't know you could do this. I didn't know you could go to another city and play music for people. And when I saw that there was other DJs coming to my spot, I was like, well, where are you from? I want to go play your venue. So I found myself searching for somebody that can put me in out-of-town clubs. At the time, there was like 3 or 4 different agencies, and I looked at all the possibilities, and I ended up emailing one of them, and it happened to bounce to a Lewis at that agency. And he was like, we're not looking for anything right now. I'll let you know in the future. So I was like, cool. So I continued my search. I even talked to like local promoters, like, yo, I want to get out of the city. Let's do something out of town. MySpace at the time was kind of hot, and I got like my first out of town booking through MySpace in Toronto. And I went there, played music, fun and all, but I was like, all right, I need to do this more volume. So then a few months later, Lewis at his email messages me, and he's like, yo, do you still want to work? I was like, I'll get back to you, because that's what he had done to me. So I waited. I waited a few weeks after that. He sends me another email. He's like, yo, let's get together. Let's work on something. And I thought to myself, what do I have to lose? He's being real persistent. Obviously, there's something there that's driving him. So I said, all right, the next person that gives me a contact, I'll filter it to you. You handle it. And then if it works out, we'll start working together. And it happened to be that the next person that came through was from Switzerland. And they were like, yo, come play my club. And I was like, okay, here's my agent, Lewis, handle this. So he handled it. He brokered the deal. And I actually met Lewis for the first time in person at the airport on the way to Switzerland to play that gig.
Wow.
And
whoa.
Yeah, so I said, you've never heard me play. He's like, yeah, I hope you don't suck. So we went to Switzerland, played music, and he's like, yo, anytime that somebody comes through from now on, just send them to me. And I was getting a business card almost on a daily basis playing in Miami, and I was just filtering them through Lewis, and we built up a contact base and then slowly started expanding. When I didn't have enough availability, we added another DJ to the roster. I mean him, it's his company. And he'd be like, who else can we put on? And I'm like, well, this guy. I was like helpful, but because I knew if I had a strong team around me that it would be an overall benefit to me too. So it was like selfish, but at the same time helpful.
Right.
So that's how we got linked up. And then just slowly, built contacts that way.
And when this was, how long ago did this relationship establish?
Probably like 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, that's crazy. He never heard you before, but he took a chance
Yeah.
and booked you a gig.
Well, yeah, through my contact.
What through your contact? Yeah.
He was getting free money at that point. Yeah. He had never heard me before, yeah.
Oh.
But I think he looked at the upside. He's like, what do I have to lose? This guy plays in Miami. I told him to get me a contact, and a few days later, he already sent one. So he's like, well, I hope he doesn't suck.
Yeah.
And even if I did, I'm sure he would have just kept pushing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you went live earlier before we started, and funny enough, Lightning Drummer asked, "How do I audition for Rich Group or talent agencies?" If you want to answer that.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna,
I think that first of all, that question has a complete misconception on what management is.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll explain.
But you can go off on that.
No, go ahead.
Well, yeah, the misconception is that you audition for management. Management doesn't necessarily require you to be talented from the first off, right? You want to be as good of whatever you do as you can be, I think, for maybe personal reasons or for market value. But you will not be accepted into an agency unless you can make them money. That's the bottom line. So if you're already working a lot locally and you're like, yo, I've exhausted my opportunity on a local level. I have a gig 4 or 5 times a week. I'm making X amount of dollars. I want to be out of town. I can set up something with another DJ to take my spot for me when I'm out. Management agency might look at you and say, okay, even if I can't land him 2 or 3 gigs per month, I can take a cut off what he already has. So that's something you're going to have to give up in turn for being out of town. So when you give up a piece of your local equity, you're going to get a piece of out of town equity. And then you just have to do the math and see if it's worthwhile. But no one's going to pick you up if they have to do all the work for you. If they have to like sell you to other people, then they're going to be like, well, I have 100,000 of you guys. What do I need you for? If you're already making money, generating a buzz, and people know who you are, you're an easier sell to an agency. And then they'll take you and then sell you, and then you guys can both make money. But you can't come to the party unless you have cake already.
Yeah. I mean, basically, the misconception is that the management's going to get you gigs. Yeah. And if you don't have gigs already, or if you don't have a demand or any kind of demand, on the table already, management is just there to make sure, to protect you, number one, and then just to make sure that, you're going to get your money, and then just to take your representation to another level. Yeah. Because at a certain point, you don't want to be like talking to the club owners. You want a buffer.
It works for some people, though.
Yeah. I mean,
some people do it real well.
Well, I think that you need a buffer. You need to have a relationship with the club owners, but you don't want to be talking to them about your rates and money and like opportunities and stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You want to be like drinking with them, having fun. And then we're like, hey, we want to resign you for next year. You want to tell them, yo, you got to talk to Felipe. You know what I'm saying?
Lewis.
Yeah, you got to talk to Lewis. Like, right. He handles all that shit. Like, let's take a shot. And then you want to keep that positive relationship. Because
100%. You don't want to be the asshole that says that the equipment was wrong, the hotel room sucked, the driver was drunk, or he was speeding. Like, all this shit was terrible. You want your agent to do that. So you're always the nice guy.
Wait. What the fuck you going through with the driver being drunk and speeding?
No. I'm saying if that ever comes across, you want somebody to do that for you.
What's been happening? Conflict. What is these?
Actually,
you've been having conflicts?
The reason why I brought that up is because I played in Mexico. There's no speed limits in Mexico.
Oh, there's not.
My guy was
really?
No, there's not.
Listen, my guy was hitting 100, and even in an Escalade, it was uncomfortable.
Oh shit!
The whole way down, and it's like
Did you tell him to chill?
Listen, I have 2 choices at that point, right? I have 2 choices. Number 1, watch the road and help. Number 2, be a bitch and tell him to slow down. Which one do you think I went with?
You start watching out the road.
I would tell him to be
I'm
a
going
bitch.
with
A. The whole time.
Yo, watch out with the taxi on the right.
I would have been a bitch and tell him to slow
I
down.
know, I would have did the same thing. Yeah,
He was
yo, man, slow down.
I didn't go that way. We got there fast though.
It's 100. Yeah. I was gonna ask. So when Rich Group started, you were like the 3rd one or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Where you guys at now for the roster?
I think there's 10 of us.
Oh, okay. It's just
10 or 11.
You got a good roster.
I think so.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Do you have any word to like? Oh, we kind of don't want that guy. Don't.
I can give an opinion.
Okay.
But I would never give
a strong opinion.
I would give a strong opinion. I would give that opinion to the individual first. Say, hey, I think you're a weak link because X, Y, or Z. I think you're still valuable, but maybe you should correct these things.
Did you want to be on like other management groups before Lewis?
My end goal was always play for more people at more places. So if I didn't want to find myself buried in a management, like I didn't want to be like number whatever in line. I wanted to have a direct relationship. I wanted to be basically represented in the same way that I represent myself. So if I work this hard, I want my management to work that hard for me too. So I think the best thing for me was to kind of help grow a small boutique agency rather than join an already established giant where like I could do a lot of work, but it's not really going to affect that much because I'm just one person.
You see that now, but back then, before you signed, did you already see that too as well?
Yeah.
Is that because you heard horror stories or you just saw it?
No, I just saw it. And also something that's really guided me and helped me throughout my whole career is if the whole market is running in one direction, I don't want to be in line that way. Like, I'm just going to go the other way and just be first and just wait for the tide to turn and people to realize, oh, we're going that way now. And then it's like, I look behind me and now I'm first. Right. So I would always go the opposite of what people were doing at the time. So when everyone was signing on to this management or going that way or playing on videos when it was Serato Video, I was like, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to go this way and do it.
Was Serato Video that big?
I think for a while it was.
Really?
What, for a year, maybe?
Yeah, and then that was one of the questions on Instagram Live is like, do you think video DJing is dead? And the reason why I think it never really took off, it never became alive, is because if you're in a club, you have to stop and look at a TV to get the full effect of video DJing. Where's the fun in that? Like, you got you got your friends around you drinking and passing you shots, and you're like, no, chill, this mix is good, and you're watching a TV. It's like
you got people dancing on the dance floor. They're gonna stop dancing just to look to see what video is playing.
Yeah.
Shit. So
you're already taking a lot of their senses. So their auditory sense is already taken up. Their physical sense might be taken up with dancing, and then they might be a little bit inebriated, so they've been drinking. Now you also want to take their visual sense, and it's like, now what are you doing?
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of control over what they're doing at that point.
I missed out on a few gigs because I didn't do video.
Really?
Yeah.
Are those places still open?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I just remember it happened. I'm like, I mean, the rates weren't bad at all. The rates were pretty good, but it was just like, I don't do video. And they're like, oh shit, okay, well, we're going to go in another direction. We don't do. And I think even a few spots in Vegas were like considering putting up projectors and like huge LED like things for like video, but it never took off. I remember talking to like certain lighting guys, and they were telling me about it, like installations that they're.
Well, the visual aspect is important, but I don't know to that extent.
Yeah.
Right. Like, artists have visuals. If you have a big screen, you got to put something up on there.
Yeah.
But you don't have to put every single video in order and make it like dynamic.
Yeah, I agree.
I think like video DJs is good for like a lounge.
I agree.
Or like
that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like a
lounge
sports
where you're more
bar.
chilling.
Yeah, I like that.
because you're sitting down already.
Nightclub, you kind of want to be looking
There's
at.
a spot in Mandalay
yeah.
Bay that does it, and it's still cool. It's like an outdoor lounge.
I would love that.
Yeah, it's cool for the environment.
I actually enjoyed it a lot, but I didn't pay attention to like the room or girls when like if there was a VJ. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what it's called. VJ.
Sounds like a BJ.
It's like a slow pause, like a very far away pause.
Yeah. It's like a borderline pause, but yeah, when the VJ would be DJing, because remember Jet would have Rooney G,
yeah,
and he would Rooney G was this really talented VJ.
he was good.
Yeah,
And then, but yeah, I would be watching him.
He'd be scratching, cutting it up.
Yeah, he'd be scratching, and I'd be like watching this shit, and then I look in the crowd, and everyone's watching it.
and nobody's dancing
And
on the dance floor.
No one's dancing.
So it was like a.
And then the girls would get mad because the guys weren't paying attention to the girls. You know what I mean?
So it's like an
And it was
exhibition,
weird.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think with a guy, when the TV is on, we just kind of like, we start watching it. I don't know what the fuck. But I think like it was enjoyable for me. Like I wouldn't mind sitting down and having like a game on and then having that on the side.
Yeah.
And then watching that shit with the fellas or whatever.
Did you have an adjustment period coming from Miami where, like you said, it was like a slow build versus coming to Vegas and they want energy right away?
When I first got here, 2011, 2012, Hyde was relatively new, so we were closing pretty late. It was almost like an exact mirror. So there wasn't a lot of adjustment there.
Okay.
The more time I spent here, the more I realized that you're almost judged on the first 15 minutes of your set here.
Yeah.
So like when a headliner goes on here, it's bang, 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 and then after that there's like a little bit of a drop off, and that's okay.
I think that's horrible.
Well, that's what I've noticed. I mean, correct me if you think it's right.
I think it was
Wrong.
It was started by this one dude, and everyone started following that because they thought it was the standard.
Interesting. But you know what? It's kind of leaked into management. So I opened up a club here that wasn't Hyde. I opened up a club in 2015 or 2016. And what I always strive for are a lot of...
Wait, which club? We can bleep it out if you want.
Oh, you don't have to bleep it out. It was in...
Okay.
Yeah, so I opened up...
You have to bleep it out.
I know. Yeah.
All right.
So I opened up that club. And one of the notes that I got back was the top song has to get played in the first like 15 minutes or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that.
It's because of the cry out.
No. So look, you can do cryo to something else. It doesn't have to be the top song. Plus, you're gonna do cryo to like EDM or trap, right? You're not necessarily.
Oh, okay. No, I feel like they want it to be a show as soon as you get on.
Yeah, for sure. I understand that. Yeah, you can. I hit my intro. I hit a build up. I hit a big drop.
No. What I'm saying is that to the corporate. To corporate the nightclub corporate management, to them the biggest show would be the number one song out.
Okay,
do you know? I put it this way: like when you deal with a nightclub like that, and you have and it's part of this corporate entity of the casino, and they're controlling it. It becomes like the Hollywood, like when you get a script. And then all of a sudden you have all these corporate motherfuckers from the studio saying,
change
this,
you
should change this.
That,
you should use this actress. And it has nothing to do with the creative aspect of the movie or making the movie better. It's just all about contracts, money, and their instincts of what they think is cool when they have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Right.
And I feel like that's been going on even more in the nightclub industry now than ever.
Right.
And I think it's the absence of a music director.
Oh, man. Can we get into that one? The marketing
But
companies.
I want to finish this thing, so you have to play
write
the number
down,
one.
Write down marketing companies. So they wanted me to just like peak the energy when I got on at like 12:30.
Yeah.
12:45, and I'm like, but what's the upside? Like, I want to save some of this energy for 1:15, 1:30, 1:45. I want to extend this, but that's what I think is the problem in micromanaging a professional DJ. When you say, well, this is what has to happen, you can't micromanage somebody in that position, in my opinion, right? Like, you can't micromanage the general manager as an owner. Like, if you've picked me as a DJ,
there's got to be a trust.
let me go.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what's best for the night to keep my job. Now, give me notes for sure. I want you to do this and do this and do this. Is this work?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can make that happen inside of what I'm already doing. But when you like push this agenda on a DJ specifically because you envision the best music, then you play. Right? But you hired us.
I had a weird experience at that nightclub as well, where like one of the dudes came up to me, the like executives came up to me, and he's like, that thing you keep hitting? And I'm like, what? And he's like, that horn? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I really hate air horns. And I was like, okay. And he's like, and then he was just like, don't ever play that again. And then I think it was one of those things where even if you were doing an okay job, they just want, even if you were doing your job or if you were doing well, they just want to say something to be in control.
It's very possible.
Because that just, to me, that just seemed like something like, I could have been on the mic, I could have done anything, and he would have just nitpicked anything and then been like,
it's very possible.
It's not enough that the club is going well. I don't want you to do this.
I think a lot of the positions that are established inside of nightlife are not real positions. So maybe that person needed to say something to keep their job. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm an important part of this company because I let him know that air horns are not okay. So that's why I command a salary at this place. Because if you're doing your job the right way, then that guy's not needed, right? So he needs to be needed. So he creates a space for himself.
I don't know. It's definitely. I mean, it's definitely an ego thing.
Maybe
definitely an ego thing. Where
ego.
So music directors are missing in this city, and I think the marketing department in most of these hotels for the nightlife spaces need to revamp, regroup, and relaunch. For the last 8-9 years, they've been milking the EDM bubble, putting a big act on a flyer, and then it sells, right? So there's many, many, many nightclubs in this city, but there are not many, many, many hard ticket sellers left over. There might be 10, right? Like the Tiestos,
less than that,
the Calvin Harris, Chainsmokers,
Diplo,
Calvin Harris, Diplo, Aoki. Right? Aoki. So you might have 10, but all that middle tier got cut out. So what happens is we all know that the XS DJ booth, the original one, was in the wall because it didn't matter who was playing.
Right by the entrance.
You went for the aesthetic. You went because it was the win. It was XS. It's amazing. It's a beautiful venue, right? So they got away from that, not just them, but just the city as a whole, because people were buying tickets to see these acts. Now that's not happening anymore. We have to create some sort of a movement from marketing, which is why I'm so in tune with marketing for ourselves, because I think that space is about to open back up for us. EDM built beautiful stages that we all get to play on for the next 10 years.
I don't know if that layout of a nightclub works.
I agree. It might just too big.
I know. Well, I don't think the DJ being I don't know if that whole centerpiece DJ thing works, because I think it takes away from actually
The music.
looking at the room
Sure.
Enjoying
and
the
feeling the vibe of the room.
But I think only if you have somebody that you're keeping your eyes on. Like when I'm DJing and people like come up to me and they like dance, or they very rarely does this happen where they like come up and they're like doing hand motions and doing the Tiesto thing back. I'm like, stop, go have fun. Like, go. Don't worry about me. Like, I'm doing what I'm.
But that's the problem with the layout. So I was at this club actually last week, and they have this blue fucking light that points at the DJ the whole night. Never, you know what I'm talking about.
No, yeah.
They have this blue light that points at the DJ, and it's just not. There's no need for it
Did you
to
ask
be.
the light guy to turn it down?
Well, I did text somebody, and I said, you know what? Like, can we turn this light off? And it was just, then people just stopped staring at me because they're waiting for some shit to happen, and then they're waiting for me to do some shit. You know what I mean? And then they just started like looking at each other, looking around, looking at the lights, and then it became about the music and more about the energy in itself.
Yeah.
And I think that thing that's going on with like looking at the main DJ and him like telling you what to do, or like showing you with his hands, or like
counting down,
or pretending to, you know, jump around and shoot the cryo shit. I think there's a platform for that, definitely. Like, it's cool, but like remember we were on our way to was it Atlantic City? Where the fuck were we going? We were going to
we was
it was
upstate.
me, it was me, Neva, and like Kid Conrad, DJ Karma, and DJ Q, these Vegas local guys.
The Poconos.
And we were talking. Poconos. We were making. I was making a slight joke. I said, "Are you the type to stand on the stage and like shoot cryo, or like, you know, interact with the crowd?" They're like, "Yo, definitely, I want to do that."
Everyone said it,
and I didn't understand that. I didn't DJ. I didn't start DJing to do that. Right. Like, to me, that's not like, if I was in a nightclub and I saw the DJ do that, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I understand it's like showmanship now, and I know it's a part of it, but I don't see it as showmanship at all. I see it as like an arrogance. I see it as a self-importance of like, you know, like, look at me kind of shit. When DJs, we never wanted to be really looked at like that.
Okay. Can I touch on that one?
Yes. Pause.
Thank you. So when DJing started, right, they were house parties, small parties, right? You played records, right? Funk records, probably, with breaks. Sorry.
Yeah.
With breaks. And, you know, B-boys, B-girls would dance and people would dance. You'd have a good time, right? So, like, if a DJ from that time frame saw what was happening 10 years later, where people were just playing hip hop, or when the MC became the big thing and the DJ was just backup, be like, nah, man, that's bullshit. That's not the way we do things. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I understand your concept of self-importance, arrogance, but there might be a crowd in that club that paid money, and this is the first time that they get to experience something in Vegas, and might be the only time that they get to save up for this vacation. And you spray them with cryo, and that's a story that they'll have for the rest of their lives, because they're from a small town where they're like, we went to Vegas and this guy got up and he sprayed us with cryo. We were right in the front. It was crazy, right? So you're doing them kind of like a service. You're an entertainment at that point. It's like you're adding to their overall experience. I get it that we're like in the wall and playing music, but I think the dynamic has changed, just like we're not playing just music for backyard parties anymore.
Yeah.
We're in big clubs, so we have to kind of adapt, adjust, and maybe evolve just a little bit. You don't have to feel self-important to spray people with cryo. It might be kind of fun.
Do you spray people with cryo?
Do I?
Yeah.
If there's a cryo gun and that's what the club is expecting of me, I will spray people with cryo.
I can't see you doing that for some reason.
Yeah, I can't see you jump on the table and do all that shit.
All right, I'm gonna need help from you guys.
No, I've seen you spray. I've seen you like do like the CO2.
The
guns.
last question for the podcast will be how I can improve. That can you write that one? No, and I want brutally honest answers.
See, wait, what were you saying? Yeah, to get on stage and do that. Well,
Yeah.
I've been DJing for a while, and some of the most monumental sets and monumental nights of my life had nothing to do with cryo. It had nothing to do with the DJ standing on the table. It had everything to do with the people and the music, and whether the DJ was on the mic and yelling on the mic and putting on a great show. That had nothing to do with him standing on the DJ table. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for me, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's self-involved. I think it's putting on a show, definitely. But for I think it became a part of this EDM thing where these guys were not really DJing. and they had to fill up.
And they had to throw
They
cakes
had
on
to fill up
motherfuckers.
time to do something with themselves or their hands,
And dancing got it.
and do
too
something,
much.
and it became interactive with what we do. And I understand what you mean. Like, hey, we can shoot cryo. Look, I don't need to shoot cryo. Get one of the dancers to shoot cryo. I don't mind that. Let the dancers dance and do their shit.
That's dope, though. That might even
yeah.
be cooler.
No, that's always happened. That's how it was before. But all of a sudden, these guys were like, we're not doing anything. We're EDM
Okay, I
guys.
see what you're saying.
There's a 6-minute EDM song. I'm not really doing anything. I have to.
So
what am I going to do? Stand here and look at you guys?
You're upset with the root of how it came about.
Yeah, because I'm upset with the root, and I'm also saying that, look, I'm not that kind of DJ, so don't make me be that kind of DJ. Don't make me be like a corny fucking guy that gets on the table and starts tap dancing for fucking the crowd.
I get it.
When I know my job and I can get them amped up. Look, if I gotta stand on the stage to get people amped up, something's wrong with that. You know what I mean?
I understand
Like,
what you're saying.
you feel me?
Yeah.
Like, my job is to get the music popping.
Yeah.
So if I need to stand on a fucking stage and pour tequila down motherfuckers' mouths and shit, that's fine. But if that's what you need to do, then I
Okay.
mean, to me,
And I think that
that's a
EDM
lot. Look, listen to me. If I was an amazing DJ, right?
Which
If I'm-
you are an amazing
No.
DJ.
Well, if I'm like a phenomenal DJ,
Okay.
and I'm getting on the stage in the cryo, and then I'm pouring tequila down everyone's motherfucking necks, and I'm going nuts like that, like a Stevie Aoki, and DJing and scratching and doing it all at the same time, I'd have a heart attack at the end of the night. You feel what I'm saying? And I'll be really honest with you. I mean,
I'm scared I might bust my ass getting on top of that.
You're not
fucking-
coordinated
if I'm,
enough.
no,
to-
if I'm getting like 20 grand a night, you best believe I'm hiring motherfuckers to do that shit, or I'm doing it myself and I'm having backup with me, right? But if I'm making a certain amount of money, you best believe the music is going to be good enough. And all of that other shit that you aren't paying me for, y'all need to pay for that shit.
Right.
Okay.
And I guarantee you there are DJs that do it and they do it well. They hold the room down. But as I will be honest with you, 80 to 90% of the time when I see a DJ get on stage, I don't take him seriously, and it's not backed up by anything good musically, technically, creatively in their DJs.
Maybe you can be the first.
No.
So if you want to,
I don't need to be.
If
But
you
that's
want,
my thing. That's not attractive to me. It's not necessary. It's corny. I like seeing the DJ make the crowd have an orgasm on the dance floor, and then looking at him, and him looking like
Effortless.
it's effortless. Like, it's just like, yo, this is nothing. This I'm
oh, y'all got wild
I'm
for
washing,
that.
I'm
That's
washing
what,
dishes right now.
That's what AM,
you know what I mean.
That's what AM was great
AM, just having a cigarette in one hand, transforming, crazy shit. Kid Capri working his ass off on the mic, scratching, switching records, like controlling the crowd without having to stand the fuck up. Give a speech.
Well, we're talking
Las Vegas. Welcome to Las Vegas. Like, hey, get a fucking host to do that.
I feel like you're extending this one moment for a long time, because standing up and spraying people with cryo is only about 30 seconds.
I think if you want to do that, that's fine. I think that's fine.
I think that's the EDM format that is spilled into other areas of DJing.
It's an open format.
It's an open format, and so like it's not expected, but it seems to be like the go-to, even if you're not doing EDM. And that's where it kind of gets weird when I see like other dudes that aren't EDM DJs doing it.
Well, my thing is that who told you that you need to do that? An EDM dude? Like, who the fuck told you to do
But
that? Like,
that
why is that
became the
necessary?
norm or the standard because we saw them doing it, and so they're like, "Oh, that might be what works."
Like, I'll be a slave. I'll be a slave to the crowd. I'll be a whore for the nightclub. I'll be a whore for the crowd. But I'm not gonna fucking stand on the stage
yeah,
and dance around.
Unless
do
they're
this
paying
shit.
20 racks.
Unless it's 25
Unless
racks,
it's
you can
20.
get cricket.
No,
jump on
because
the
to
table.
me, if you want to put on a show, let's put on a show. Me standing up on a fucking stage, right? This like out of shape Korean dude. You know what I mean?
about to
Like,
fall over.
it doesn't make sense to me. That's not a show to me. Do you know what I mean? I could clearly do whatever the fuck I'm doing from behind the turntables. I don't need to stand on the fucking thing.
yeah.
So at some point in my head, psychologically, I say I want to be the star. I need to be in front of these people. I'm taking advantage of this. I've never been in the crowd like, yo, I'm amped up. I'm feeling myself. I get on the table And I get it. Anytime I've seen a motherfucker do that, I'm like, what are you doing? Oh my God, maybe this is going to be good. Oh no, it wasn't. This is really bad.
Do you introduce?
Am I wrong? Every time I see it, I'm like, oh my God, this is really bad. What
do you
doing?
introduce yourself like when you play out of town or when you play in town? Will you when you're getting on as a headliner? Do you introduce yourself? You grab the mic, might be like, "What up?" Vegas or whatever.
I don't, but I've seen that work, and I think it's good.
So your only problem is standing up higher,
huh?
Your only problem with that is standing up higher.
I know. I think there's the nerve to stand up there.
So if I do it from the booth and I'm like, "What's up, Vegas? Konflikt from Miami. I'm here to party." Blah blah blah. That's okay.
Yeah.
And then who starts the song?
I mean, I do.
You have to bend down.
No. But I'm saying,
he said behind the turntables.
If I'm in the booth, it's It's okay.
Yeah.
I've done that. I do that.
Right.
No. That's fun. You're doing your job.
Okay.
I think.
So what if I have a pre-made track that has a 30-second pre-roll and I know it goes into a build-up and I drop it and I get up on stage and I'm like, hey, what up? It's Konflikt from Miami. I'm here to party. And then it goes into it.
So my thing is, what have you become now? You become like an MC or a host or
for 30 seconds. That doesn't define the entirety of the night.
I think it does. I think it says a lot for someone to make a pre-mix of something so they could stand up in front of people, just to stand up in front of people.
He's saying a track that may just have a 30, maybe not a pre-mix.
It doesn't matter to me. Like to me, like I think like I'll have a track and I'll do the one thing, but let me do that so I can musically do something else or do something on the mic.
I get it.
For me to say, well, I want to stand in front of these people and introduce myself to them. Like, why? Yeah. Because then it becomes like, well, I want them to remember me. Okay, they're going to remember you if you do like a dope fucking thing.
I agree with you.
So for me, people who do that overcompensate for something that they're not providing musically or technically to me.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay.
And I would say 90% of the time that I've seen it done, I'm pretty much right.
Who are the 10%?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, like, yo, Little John, by all means, stand on that fucking table and put on a show because you are the front man for this.
Right.
When I no offense to Little John, much respect to Little John, I'm not necessarily seeing Little John to be like, wow, he's really going to take it to another level on a creative, like, musical level. I think he's going to put on a show. He's going to play his hits, and he's going to make the energy dope. But him, the personality itself is the star of that. It's not the music itself.
He's a good DJ, too. I mean,
he's a solid DJ.
He's a solid
DJ. Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that if I'm going to see Little John, I'm going there to see
You
Little
expect
John.
him to jump
Right.
on the table.
You feel me? So by all means, I'm seeing a personality. I'm there to see a personality. Now, if I don't know who's like a technical DJ, let's say that any technical DJ out there that I want to see or who I know is like dope, like a Scooter.
Like I'm about to say Four Color Zach.
Yeah,
Four Color Zach Scooter. You know what I'm saying? If they feel in the moment that they want to stand on the fucking stage and do what they want to do, by all means do it. I think those guys can get away with it and make it work. But I would say most of the time, 90% of the time, the dudes that get on the stage are trying to just showboat or overcompensate for themselves.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
So if you're a good DJ, it's okay.
I think if it's in the sake of the energy and you're like, dude, this is going to another level, and I'm going to stand on the stage or like do something crazy, like some Travis Scott jumping into the crowd, where like, yo.
But
when it's something like, yo, all the other dudes do this, so I'm gonna do it. It's expected, or I'm gonna try to act like I'm like a big DJ and I'm standing on the stage, or my guy has the camera behind me. He's gonna take that photograph of me standing on the stage in front of the crowd, and then all you get is that picture. And then when I see you live, you're trash.
So it's
do you
almost
understand what I mean?
False advertising.
It's almost the equivalent to like
they're not getting
a rapper.
They're not doing that. For
that's
that.
not like the antics is what's moving.
They're
the
not
show,
doing that to help the room.
You're like a dope
MC.
You know
how many pictures? I mean, how many pictures do you need of yourself with a room popping the fuck off with cryo shooting? Look at a DJ that has 20,000 of those pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. How many pictures? I don't know. I mean, how many pictures do you really need?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that.
But what I'm saying is there might be a form of communication in those pictures. So there's been clubs that contacted me based on the pictures on my Instagram page.
Damn.
That's a wrap, like nothing else. They never heard.
Yeah, but you're a good DJ.
Yeah, but that's they got lucky. I'm sure that. So what I'm getting at is, it's communication. Social media is communication to the outward world.
No. social media now is a con.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with that, but it's the communication still.
But it's
You might be sending the wrong signal.
No, it's always the wrong signal. I would say 90% of all social media is the wrong signal.
Okay.
I think it's all con. And you guys could say I'm wrong.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
I would say the more of a dude is focused on his social media and the more spectacular his social media looks, the worse he is as a DJ.
Is it a con or is it perception?
Huh?
Is it a con or perception or both?
It's a con. It used to be back in the day. Look, all right. It used to be back in the day, maybe like 5 or so years ago, right? If I saw you in that room, that dude earned it. He's killing that room. Oh shit, that motherfucker he got on the fucking he got on the stage or he got on his turntable, he got on the tables and he fucking got the crowd amped. Now it's like the dudes that didn't earn that right, that saw you, and like, I want that one picture. Mm-hmm. And if I have that one picture, that kind of like solidifies my status in the DJ world or in this industry. And that's what it's become, where it's become the standard of like, I need that picture, I need that status symbol. But then when you see them live, you're like, yo, this is...
Talent is no longer a driving force in bookings. That's what you're getting at.
Well, no. I mean, you could say that. I'm just talking about motherfuckers standing on the table.
Yeah, it's easier to fake it now, for sure, which is why I have this whole emphasis on marketing, because I want to be different. I want to be a good DJ that still focuses on that kind of shit. I want to be the exception to the rule as much as I can be.
I think for me, it's hard. Pause to I mean, you
Can
guys
you call it on yourself? I don't know the rules.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to do that, man.
Anything that sounds crazy, you gotta go.
Okay.
I mean, you guys should speak on this, man, because I want to know the pressures that y'all feel about social media. For example, yesterday or a couple days ago, there was that horrific tragedy that happened in Vegas, right? The shooting.
That was yesterday. Well,
yesterday.
The 1 year anniversary.
And then everyone was posting Vegas Stronger. Everyone was on Instagram posting Vegas Stronger. And a motherfucker came up to me and he said, yo, should we be posting this shit? And I said, you don't have to. Like, it doesn't change anything except for the fact that you feel compelled to do it because everyone's doing it right now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that it doesn't touch you less or more. It just means that more people are posting it probably because they feel guilty or they feel like they're not a part of something.
Or just to feel important.
Or no, I don't even think it's to feel important. I feel like they feel bad because they haven't said something about it, or it's not relatable to, to them. So they feel a need to be like, they think that's making a difference, and it's really not.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I saw it and I didn't feel compelled, but it doesn't mean I didn't feel any less bad for the victims or the people that were part of it. They might have known someone a part of it.
Of course not.
I felt horrible when it happened, you know what I mean? But I didn't feel the need to post and be a part of the movement. But, my heart still goes out to those people nonetheless.
So for me, Instagram, social media, Twitter's a little bit different. But I mean, like social media in general, I don't think posting content, marketing of me DJing right now, to me, is essential, and it may help my bookings more if I did it more, but at the same time, I think my reputation and what should be more important is the quality of what I put out, hence this podcast. So for me, posting pictures of myself in a nightclub with cryo or standing on top of a stage, that may be something that someone needs to solidify their status in the industry. I'd rather be like, yo, why don't we do this podcast and push another form of content out there that actually has some type of content in there.
Yeah.
And that's not a con. Like, it's by all means real.
But if you were to put out those pictures, it wouldn't be a con either.
It would be to me. For me, myself, because I'm not impressed by that. And I find it when everyone's doing, like you said before, when everyone's doing it, you're like, I lose interest in it, because then I become like one of the sheep to me.
Yeah.
And that, like, I would stand up, I would have fun, I would do all of this shit. But once EDM dudes do that and these trash DJs do that, it ruins the experience for me, because then it's like, why are y'all standing up there? because you have to. Like, if you have to do that, then I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's my marketing. Is that if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna do something you guys can't do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do something exactly you guys can't do. I'm gonna do no marketing, and my schedule is gonna stay steady.
Yeah.
So how is that possible that I do almost no marketing yet my schedule stays steady?
I don't know. Tell us.
I don't know. I don't know. And one of them could just be to be like a very reliable and solid DJ and perform, give you a 110%. It doesn't always have to be documented, but when it is documented, you know, you show a little humility and you floss a little bit at the same time.
Yeah. I think what he said earlier about speaking a language that maybe the younger generation doesn't really. For instance, let's say like when J. Cole first came out, his first album was very commercial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then because of that commercial success, he went a different direction after the commercial success to do his own thing. So that was his introduction, just doing the commercial thing. So he spoke the language of people that were listening to commercial hip hop. Mm-hmm. And then he went a different way. And so I think that's what he was saying a little bit, like, you might want to speak the language, and then once they understand you, then you can go your way a little bit more.
That is exactly what I meant.
It's like you're trying to get your foot in the door.
Right.
Once you get in there, you
Right.
can do what you can do. You.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's what Konflikt was kind of like getting at. And
Well, see,
I understood
I
that.
see it another way. I see it that J. Cole was lost.
Really?
And he was doing what he thought was expected of him.
Nope.
Wait.
Nope.
In
I
the-
agree with you already.
I'll battle you on that.
I already
one.
agree with you.
I think when when I heard that first J. Cole album, right? I feel like he thought he needed certain songs, he needed a certain sound, and he needed to rap not rap a certain way, but to address and have certain topics. With
He had
that
to do
first
the
album,
commercial.
yeah.
Yeah, he had to get.
But my thing is,
I don't think he was
do you-
lost.
no. I think he was lost because you didn't.
Is it possible the record label said put this on there or it's not going out?
Yeah,
Exactly.
That was he had to do that.
But that's a sense. He was lost because why did he feel so troubled in Force? What is it? Force Drive?
Oh, 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
Force Hills Drive.
Because maybe
There was definitely a troubledness where he was lost, and he explained how lost he was.
Yeah,
That
because the label wanted
It wasn't the label; it was money. It was everything that you think is success when you realize it's not success.
No, he said that the label wanted the commercial that
Yeah.
Jay-Z would be like, "No, this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't it." And then he brought out workout, and then it was like, "All right, cool. This is cool for the radio." Whoop-de-whoop. And then he still sold out in the first week for that first album. But I don't think he was lost. I think he was pressured to do something he didn't want to because the previous two mixtapes were so defined on what he wanted to do. That's why Forest Hill Drives, and that's why some of these later albums are more so like the mixtape.
I feel like that's with every new artist that comes out with their first album.
But he was lost. He was stuck in the money was there, and he was stuck in the money. He talked about cheating on his girl, not being there for his moms,
Yeah.
only caring about himself. So there was a sense of just like being lost.
Yeah.
And thinking this is what's important. This is what success is. Yeah. Obviously, he had to do what he had to do for the label, but he was lost. And why do you think he had so much? Why do you think like he I wouldn't say he had a breakdown, but he had like
he did have like a breakdown.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Yeah. But
I think the pressure got
in
to him.
in the midst of that, he was able to reach an audience through the language
Right.
that he was speaking, and then they followed him when he went a different direction because they were able to listen to him and be like, okay, we understand your change. We understand what direction you're going in. Even though you came out with commercial, they could have looked at him as fake. Like if he would have did some commercial shit and went a different way, it doesn't work for everybody, but his authenticity made it work for him.
So we talk about the evolution of DJing. We talk about J. Cole and stuff like that. Ultimately, what is the evolution of a DJ, right? DJs, we started working for nightclubs, right? Promoters would have their own parties, and they would bring in DJs and blah, 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 blah. The evolution of what a DJ is to me, and I'm seeing it in other DJs, is them creating their own sound in parties and gathering their own people, and nightclubs not being a part of that at all.
Factor at all.
And that's why nightclubs are suffering right now. Because in the end, with social media, you don't need the engagement, right, with a nightclub or the marketing from a nightclub if you start in a small hole in the wall and you build that following, and then through social media, it's documented. Everyone wants to go to that and experience what that is.
That's a lot of day
and
clubs.
to me, that's what these young DJs are actually doing. I think that's the future of these young DJs. And I talked to a couple of them a few weeks ago, and I said, if you want to pop off, and they even admitted, they're like, I don't think my goal is to be in a Vegas nightclub. And I'm like, yo, you're right. And I said, you're right. And the fact that you say that right now is really interesting to me. And I think you need to start a party in your local city with another dude and fucking murder that shit, be the biggest thing ever, and then you set your rates and where you want to go. You fucking hire the right people and create the own venues that you want to do.
That's good advice.
Have you thought about doing your own party, Konflikt?
No. To touch on what D Miles was saying, actually gave me a lot of mental inspiration here. So the reason why I don't want to do my own parties is because I'm not like a super social, like let's go party person.
Introvert.
For the most part. When I'm DJing, I don't really drink. Unless an owner or a big client sends over a drink, I'm not really into drinking. I lose my motor skills real quick because I'm not a drinker. So I have one shot and I'm already feeling a little woozy. So I tend to not drink. So I'm not like that party guy. So doing my own parties wouldn't make sense because that's not me. What I think that I'm chasing right now with the marketing and the social media is this. There's this many people on earth, I'm making a very small circle, that care about what we do as DJs, right? The technical stuff, the progression, talking on the mic, making everything flawless, the timing. This many people on earth, right? They fit in here. Very few. There's a whole lot of other people out there that are interested in other things. I want to get their attention. So how do I get their attention? I already have DJs that think I'm good. I have club owners that trust me. I have nightclubs that book me on a regular basis. I've got all that. I mean, we have all that, right? How do we get more? How do we expand outward? You got to get the attention of people that don't care about what we do. And that might be a picture of you spraying cryo. That might be a crowd putting their hands up and they're like, what is this? Who is this guy? Yeah. So now if you get somebody that doesn't care about what you do into your space, you might be able to convert a fan the right way into what we do. As a good DJ, as a technician, as somebody that understands how nightclub flow should go, now you've got a good one on your side that didn't care about the space before. So when he goes and he watches some monkey dance, tap dance with a cryo gun and suck, he's like, that's trash. And now you have another soldier in your army that's here to back up what we do the right way. Tell me why it's wrong.
I don't know. I don't agree. I already think this could just be me, but I believe that the DJ with the cryo gun or the DJ in front of the crowd, right? Unless I have a direct relationship with that DJ or an interest already involved, I think that's an oversaturated image.
Okay.
I think that's like a predictable image. And I think it's an insecure image. I think
Real Housewives of Orange County, Real Housewives of Dallas, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of... Anywhere. How come they have so many different cities? Because oversaturation when it comes to what people are looking for doesn't care. It doesn't matter. So even if you are, I think, the 13,000th DJ...
Well, there's a difference. We were bringing Orange County, all of these housewives. It's a train wreck. Everyone wants to watch a train wreck. You know what I mean? Right. It's the difference. I think for us... It's really about, to me, like, for example, I was talking with one of my homies. They're like, all right, what do we do for marketing? What kind of video? And I'm like, he was talking about this video. I'm going to hire this dude and do this dude and make this video. And I said, I don't think I want to watch something like that because it's too controlled. Do you understand what I mean? Like,
but you're different. You're in the business. You're here.
No. But I think I know what a consumer or a regular person can see because of social media. It's not, when we see something controlled or edited, especially younger kids, they're like, this isn't real. They can know it's like controlled and edited and this was formulated. For me, I said, if you're going to do a video, do a live 30-second video of you fucking DJing. And from beginning to end, don't even do this like this walking into this story of flying into the thing and waitresses pouring bottles and shaking hands and all of this stuff and everything like that.
They want to see the reaction.
I say just literally have a live second, like a 1 minute 45 second live set of just 45 seconds, that to me is more impactful. And I'll be like, holy shit, that 45 seconds, like on the mic, da da da, boom, 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 scratching or whatever, boom, 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 crowd's going crazy. And having that camera dude just circle around, having it live. I think that to me is more impactful.
Who is the video for? Because the audience is going to be the most important piece of that. Who you're filming that video for is how you dictate, how you shoot it.
If I'm a nightclub and I see that 45-second video, that's more impactful to me of that live video than a picture or the other. I don't know, like the
standard. Hi, I'm landing. Say hello. This is my hotel. Going to the club. Having dinner.
I'm a superstar DJ.
Yeah. But that's I think in your head. That's you're filtering the video through your head where. Maybe 30 bookers throughout the country that book for clubs might see a video and go, oh, yes, I understand this message. He flies on a plane and lands and shakes hands with everybody. That's the kind of guy I want at my place. It might be a different dynamic for someone else that watches it.
I don't know.
Even
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, how many...
I understand your side.
Yeah.
I understand your
side. How many
side.
bookers... I mean, run it by some bookers.
I understand your side. I just don't agree with it.
Okay.
I don't...
I would like to run that by some bookers.
Run it by
or
some
like
bookers.
some promoters. How they view that.
Just pick out 2 samples of videos that are out there, and one that's like what he doesn't like, and one that is like he's explaining, and then be like, which one are you more compulsed to book here?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I would say the live video when you're seeing the dude rock like live instead of like this fixed joint that anyone can do. Like anyone with no talent can make that video.
Yeah. Can you guys give me some advice on how to loosen up and be better at the deficiencies that you see in the brand, product, or human?
Of you, who?
Of me.
You?
Of me. Yes. We can start over there if you.
I don't know. I mean,
just whatever you see.
I think you are who you are.
Yeah.
No. But listen,
that's just you.
Look, yes, but you can. Me can always get better. Yeah. So if somebody says, "Hey, what you're doing is not healthy," eating hot dogs all day.
I don't think you can get any better. I think you're.
I think you need to change.
I think you are. At the,
You're a great marketing. For your DJing, you're fucking phenomenal.
Thank you. Now tell me human.
Sometimes your videos are just like, I'm like, why? Okay.
So tell me the Minneapolis one.
I don't relate to your shit.
Okay.
I don't relate to your marketing.
I don't relate to it. Like the one you did a while back that I laughed, but I got the vision for it was when you showed up to the club and you're like, I already envisioned the night.
Yeah.
And then before you saw this, I was just like,
that wasn't for you.
That was not for me. I don't know if the public will understand that, but I see what you were doing.
That's for club bookers and club owners.
Yeah, you did. Oh, that extra shit, you flew in early or whatever.
Tell me about the Minneapolis
one. The Minneapolis one, I was just like, damn,
I like that video.
Crazy. You're like, yo, don't ask for the sweet because I got it. I was like, oh.
But here's the question.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Let me answer that one first. I land in Minneapolis. The hotel's oversold. They don't have any rooms.
Okay.
There was a problem with the room I was in. There was a hole in the wall because there was a leak. They can't sell that room because whoever's paying for it would be like, there's a hole in the wall. Why am I getting this room? Mm-hmm. So that room was out of commission for the day. So I thought to myself, how do I make this fun? So I said, this is my suite from now on. No one can get this. If you come play at Minneapolis, you can't stay here. This is the Konflikt suite, right? So I'm maybe touching a little bit on the roots of hip hop where it's like, I'm the shit and you guys aren't.
Yeah.
The reality was I was staying in a room that was not open to the public because they couldn't stay because it was flooded and there was a hole in the wall. So the real thing,
I think that's a better story.
Yeah,
I
can't let that go on social media. I'm staying at the hotel.
No, you can.
How?
You can.
So I'm gonna put out the hotel and show them the hole in the wall and be like, hey guys, check this shit out.
Don't say it's or don't say it's the.
Just be like, I have mad.
You're gonna have to bleep that out.
I know. But this is like. I imagine like, yo, I just came to Minneapolis. It was a 4-hour flight and I couldn't wait to get to my room. And then look at this fucking shit that's going on in my fucking room. Thank you, Minneapolis. I can't wait to be at the show, blah, blah, blah.
But it's a suite.
I get it.
And then eating the apple, I was like, it's
to me,
funny.
I would have been laughing. But what happens is I think.
Tell me.
You came off as, I didn't know if you were serious or joking.
Then I'm a good actor.
Now
you know I was joking.
But no. Like I assumed you were joking. I knew you were joking.
Okay.
I knew you were joking. But
so what upset you about
no, it doesn't. It's not upsetting. Okay. I thought it was. I actually loved the video.
Yeah,
I actually sent it to these guys. Said you gotta check this out.
Yeah,
this guy's being a total asshole.
Good.
On
I'm
IG.
like,
So
arrogant
more
as
of
fuck.
that. Got it.
Yeah.
No.
But learn. You got to deliver the punchline, the funniness. Because I didn't get it to the end, and I was like, what if somebody just stopped there because you were being so cocky about it?
Wait. That's a good. Do people think? People think you're like extremely arrogant or cocky? Because you can come off like that.
So people that follow me on social media might get that impression, and then in person it's a different story, because this is a different form of communication.
Yeah. So wait. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
With you being cocky or being perceived as cocky?
If that's the perception, am I okay with that? I guess I have to be, because I'm putting out the content, right? Mm-hmm. So,
but it's like a dry humor.
Yeah,
it's
very sarcastic.
It's a wry, like Seinfeld. Like,
but now I get it though, because when I first met you a few times, you were like, yeah, and then I was like, yeah, it's fucked up. And like,
I'm sorry.
Conversation.
I apologize. Were we in the club?
I get it, because you're kind of an introvert, and that's how I am.
Okay.
I'm like, I say hello and then to the fucking corner. But I get where you.
Well,
and now I get it.
So I apologize if I was
rude.
rude.
It's cool.
Okay.
I get over it.
Look, the podcast that I'm putting out is a good reflection of more me. Mm-hmm. I think I do have that arrogant side, that cocky side, that isn't necessary for survival in this business. Because if you don't think that you're good at what you do, then you probably will get eaten, right? Mm-hmm. You have to have that certain drive. And sometimes I might come off like a little bit of an asshole on social media, and I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. It's okay. I'd rather people say something about me than nothing at all, I guess.
Can you add more funny to the asshole?
I will 100% try to do that.
Please.
The only problem, look,
I think you'll be better.
This is my, and thank you. So that's good. They're good feedback.
First of all, why are you listening to Jamie?
Don't listen to Jamie. Come on, man.
So
I'm the youth.
My only problem with that is I think that there's a line between being like funny and taken serious and being a jester and being a clown. So like that, I have difficulty with that, but I'll work on it.
Yeah, because I think people look at you more of a clown if you keep being an asshole. So if you're funny, I think you'll get away with it better.
Okay.
But that's just me, though.
Thank you.
Don't listen to Jamie, man.
No, but that's good. I mean, I asked for advice because the first thing, the Crooked said was like, there's a lot of people that think you're kind of uptight and abrasive. And I'm like, well, help me. I'd love to get better.
No, I think that, look, a lot of people think I'm an asshole. And I don't really, I talk to Neville. Look, like a lot of people come up to me, say hello to me, and say hello to Neva, and then end up talking to him for 15 minutes. And then they'll walk away, and then I'll be like, what are y'all talking about? Or like, he'll come up to me like, oh, that dude wants to work with us. I'm like, well, why did he talk to you? And he didn't talk to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then for some reason, he's just more approachable. But I don't know what, I think there's a yin and yang to everything. Like, I'm meticulous about shit. I may come off as like, I think a lot of people say they don't want to bother me. They feel like if they talk to me, they're bothering me, or like because they think I'm like busy.
Well, if
like
you're DJing, you are busy, right?
Well, even when I'm not,
even when
I'm not, they think I'm busy. Like I don't have time for this shit. But maybe it could be that New York shit where you just like.
Well, I think there's so many DJs.
But then you're from New York, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
There's
know.
so many DJs that make themselves approachable while they're DJing, and it may, I don't know, I don't want to say it makes them look like they're caring about the craft less. But they look like you can go have a shot with them or go have a conversation with them while they're DJing.
I'm always fascinated.
I don't get
by
that
those
vibe.
guys.
I look at that and I'm like, whoa, dude, that's a lot of time that you're spending doing some other shit instead of focusing on the next 3 songs.
Exactly.
Do you ever get anxiety as the song is ending and they're still in conversation?
Not really, because I'm like, it's like watching a train wreck. I'm like, let's see what this goes.
Let's see how this fucking
There's been
turns
like
out.
certain times where they're having a conversation and the song is like the last 8 bars, and I'm about to approach.
Hit the loop.
I'm just about to approach the turntable, and they somehow just turn around and scratch the song in. I'm like, yo, the level of mentality to be okay to just throw that next song in.
Do you ever have that recurring dream that I'm sure everyone here
Well, I think I know what you're about to say. Well, go ahead.
with you're playing and you're typing in Serato and you keep misspelling the song and the song's running out.
And the song ends. That happens.
I
have that dream
time.
a lot.
Yeah.
That dream.
I thought,
that's not
yo,
even-
that's
Yo, that's
like,
crazy.
fuck,
Crazy.
fuck.
And then there's like dead silence in the club.
Yo, that is
And
he's
it
like,
keeps
oh,
going.
shit.
I wonder how many people have that, because I've had that a lot.
What do you think that means?
I don't know.
But it happens across different fields. So
And you feel your heart go boom, boom.
police officers have recurring dreams that they're shooting their gun and nothing happens.
She gets jammed up.
So they're like, nothing's happening. So we have, I think it's like the fear of failure just representing itself in a dream.
That's deep, because I've had that dream so many times where I'm typing in and I hit delete because I'm spelling the wrong word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
Like you're
it's-
trying to get it and the
yeah.
song's running out and you can't, and you're like, why am I so stupid? And you keep typing,
That's crazy.
So-
I actually had another question.
Yeah, but wait, first tell me how I can get better, because you know me more than anyone on the panel.
I really no homo.
Here we go. Here we go.
Finally, some praise. Go ahead.
Like, you have a really, really good personality, and when you smile, it's dope. Like, I think people like and I think Crook is looking at me.
Yo,
I'm just wondering why you have your hand on his lap. While he's telling you this.
I'm looking at his eyes.
I think
You guys can't see this, but Darren's licking his lips and he has his hand on Konflikt's lip.
This is finally going the way I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, man. I think when you like smile, it gives off a good energy,
Okay.
and I see it when I've opened for you. I see the
I'm
vibe
working on it.
that it sets.
I'm working on it.
But I
Like
do.
the waitresses, they love it. Like, you're not a bad looking guy by no means.
Oh, thank you.
You know, you're in shape.
Yeah. So
You know,
I'm working on it.
I'm saying
it's like,
all this
I think the
crazy-
final frontier. I'm gonna stop you there. The final frontier. The final frontier. The long hair. The final frontier for me is putting together that last element, which is the happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got the hard work. I've got the work ethic. I feel like I'm a good technical DJ. I understand the business.
The vision
Now,
is good.
I just got to tie it all together and add that smile at the end, which is the signature on the
the
product.
Colgate.
Yeah.
If I walk in a booth and
I'm on
this
it.
dude smiles
smiling
unnecessarily at me, I'm gonna get freaked the fuck out and
So
walk
no,
out.
no,
No, but not to sound like a hater earlier, but I do love the service you're doing with your podcast. How you go technical.
Okay.
Because that is needed. But
And business
and business is
he talks
crazy.
about the
The
business.
vision is great on your marketing and stuff like that. So, and you're a good DJ.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're not my favorite DJ, but I know you're a lot
Technically,
of
it's
people's favorite.
trademarked, so I am.
How did you? Why did you? That's a little.
Yeah,
ass
what
when I
is
say-
that
yeah. Why
about?
is my favorite DJ?
So I spelled when I picked my DJ name, I was 14, and I decided to spell it with K's instead of C's
But why Konflikt?
because I was 14.
It just sounded tough.
Yeah, and I would watch DJ battle videos back then. You know,
Okay.
it was like hip hop, it was breakdancing, it was like, you know.
I like the K's.
Yes, as do I. But the problem is that it became misspelled a lot.
Did it become a conflict?
It became a problem in a way that on the flyers people would spell it wrong. So when it came time for social media, I didn't want to have to explain myself every time somebody asked me for a handle. It's Konflikt, but it's DJ and then the K instead of the C and then spell it out. To me, that's too long. The faster you can get a customer, in essence, from the point of, and you would know this, from the point of like entry to a point of sale, the better it is. Like the less steps there is, right? You don't want there to be a bunch of different things. Like, oh, you get the piece of clothing, and then you scan it, and then you look up this, and then you look up that, then you go to the register, then you pay for it. No, I just grab it and pay, right? So that's what I wanted social media to be for me. I just want you to ask me, and then a simple answer. So I don't have to spell shit out for you. Just say my favorite DJ, and now you go and you find it. It could have been any sort of combination of words that would have been easy, but that just to me seemed like a clever way of forcing people to say, hey, at my favorite DJ, what's going on? So like now you're forced to call me that.
So my favorite DJ came when social media came about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Twitter in 2009.
Nice.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to tell you, I love your edits.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like,
I'll send out another blast.
all right.
Oh yeah, I need to.
But
get
let's
added to
talk
that.
about the edits and let's
Sure.
talk about disco.
Yeah.
Discotheque.
Before we get there, I just wanted to ask. I know, like when I met you in 2012, you were one of the few DJs, even now, that are still using turntables.
Yeah.
And I always respected that. And I wanted to know, what are your thoughts on it now in 2018? Like, how do you feel about still using turntables primarily? And do you use CDJs here and there, or-
And what's your set of choice?
If there's turntables available, that will always be my first choice because I just feel more comfortable. I'm tighter, cleaner. I still feel like there's a bit of a lag with CDJs where it's not as tight. And you know, when you fall into that pocket, that veteran's pocket, that's like everything's perfect and seamless. I need everything to be tight, and the CDJs sometimes fall a little bit, you know, off. I think. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
You know, you actually never really. You sound cleaner on CDJs. You've been working on it so long.
I've been using them a lot recently.
Yeah,
more than turntables.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're one of the few DJs that has a cleaner set on CDJs. I don't know why though.
I don't know.
Veteran's pocket. Once you get good at something, it's just like it's a timing issue. It's just a matter of getting over the equipment hump.
Yeah, because like I'm not trying to say you don't know how to do turntables anymore, but you had to like readjust yourself for turntables.
Because I've been using CDJs so much recently that when I use turntables, it feels a little bit uncomfortable at first, but
interesting.
I'll get back to it.
I feel like I need 5 to 10 minutes to adjust to CDJs every time I use them.
Yeah, so the perfect setup, I think, is the new Pioneer, the Nexus 2, the 4-channel, and 2 turntables, whether Techniques or the new Pioneer ones, the PLX 1000s, I think.
Do you like the S9?
That's the 2-channel mixer.
With the pads.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Actually, we were just speaking about this and how you were talking about, have you guys updated the OS on your MacBook Pros?
Or just the MacBook in general.
Yeah. Because I haven't updated my MacBook. I haven't even updated my iTunes because I don't know what the fuck they're going to do to iTunes next. So I don't update it so I can keep Scratch Live.
Right.
Yeah.
So I probably have, I don't know, maybe a 2-year-old OS on my fucking MacBook.
I'm still on Yosemite also.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have a backup. I just bought not too long ago a 2015, I think, or 2016, the last version before the Retina, the touch bars.
Dude, I've been trying to find another one.
Was it new or was it
It was
refurbished?
It was not new, but it had 40 hours on the battery cycle, which means that somebody just like watched 3 movies on it or something like that. You know, so it's very, very, very fresh. And I have it in storage, and I'm just waiting for my current one to like poop out.
Yeah.
To transition to that one, because I think Serato DJ is a bloated program with a bunch of features that we don't need. I don't need the shit to do the work for me. I know how to do the work. What I hear, allegedly, was that Serato DJ was built because they couldn't fit a sync button into Scratch Live. So they couldn't update that program to have a sync button, to have a sync between the decks. And they wanted to retain a very specific DJ to use to use Serato DJ. So they rebuilt the whole program around a sync button for that particular retention of that DJ.
It's kind of crazy.
That's what
Is that true?
That's what I hear. I don't know. That was from
that's stupid.
It was from a Serato rep.
Yeah. I mean, how important is that sync button that you need to rebuild
I
a whole
hate that
program?
shit.
If you learn how to DJ,
for new DJs that don't really know how to DJ,
That's just kind of dumb to me.
Yeah.
This thing, buddy.
I don't know how. I mean, shit. I've never used.
Yeah, I don't.
You never used DJ, Serato DJ?
I used it like
Very rare.
actually just recently. I had to use it because you know what? I actually used the S9 for the first time in Portland.
It's nice, right?
It's a little weird just because
it was different.
the effects and the gains and everything are in different places, and it's like a scratch mixer. So I was like, you know, the cues were different. So I was reaching for cues that weren't there. And I did like the pads. Pause.
I had the same problems also.
What's
I wasn't used to
What's
it.
wrong with pads?
I like the pads. I don't know, like a maxi pad. I don't know.
The knee pads.
What do you call it? Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think it's dope. I'm not a scratch dude. I'm not like, I don't want to do routines and shit. So for me, I really am just focused on like party rocking and selection. So I thought the S9 was unnecessary, and I feel the same way about like Serato DJ. I think there's a lot of shit in there that's dope, and then when I see the dudes use it, like guys who know what the fuck they're doing using it, I think it's outstanding. For me, I just think it's too much, you know.
Konflikt, do you get interested in those new Rain 1200s? 12s?
So I've seen 2 or 3 videos on them, and one of them was the platter spinning at like 800 miles an hour, and the dude was like, "Yo, Rain, this is not cool." I haven't tested them yet, so I don't know what they feel like. I'm always interested in the evolution of the actual the equipment that we use. But from what I've found, Pioneer always makes better gear than Rain. I think the only thing that Rain has nailed in the last couple of years has been Scratch Live. Their mixers just don't sound as good to me as the Pioneer mixers do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to guess that that's probably going to extend into the Rain 12s.
You like the Pioneer turntables?
I don't hate them,
but
I think that they're the next best thing to Techniques.
Yeah.
That are from like the 80s and 90s at this point. All over everywhere we play on these Techniques, they're old as hell.
There's a speed up reaction on them.
Yeah,
on the Rain,
on the
Pioneers.
Pioneers.
On the Pioneers.
And I haven't gotten. It fucks up my mixes when you slow the dish down. The dish reacts on the Pioneers and starts to speed up.
I noticed that on when I first played on those turntables, and I thought, damn, I'm so ingrained on 1200s.
Right.
You learn this like weird tactile thing with these turntables where you know exactly how much pressure to put on something and like push something, and you know, like I'm sure this happens to you guys, that if something's off by like a couple BPM, you just move the pitch without even thinking to a certain place, and it's like you're already there with Techniques because you know how far to go.
In a certain amount of hundreds of seconds, like it's going to reach that.
Yeah.
And with the Pioneer,
it's different.
It's just that slight difference. I've talked to other motherfuckers and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. And I'm like, no, there is an acceleration, like a reaction to the dish.
Like it knows you're putting pressure
and
on it.
And I think it's to the point where the heavier the hand is on the dish, or if you're scratching, the dish still stays in 33 1/3. So it doesn't slow down at all.
I think the motor's not as strong on the Pioneer than it is on the Techniques.
Is that what but there's an acceleration. So I'm thinking there was a reaction where it's like whenever there's a certain amount of weight that's on the dish, it's got to speed up so it could get it back
I see what you're saying.
into the rotation of whatever you're doing. You know what I mean?
I think you have to like recalibrate. Well, you don't have to, but I think there's a recalibration of the slip mats and the weight on the needle and the vinyl. Like everything's different. We're so used to the Techniques turntables and how much pressure and speed to change and all that stuff that when you're on a whole new turntable, even though it looks the same, everything's different. So you have to recalibrate all that shit to find your pocket.
It really is the most perfect piece of machinery. Like
1200s?
Yeah. 1210s to me are the best.
Too. Sure.
Like when you can go to plus 16.
I'm gonna be honest with you. What's the difference between 12 and 1210? Like,
1210 you can go to plus 16.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's basically the same.
Same shit. Yeah. I would think so. But that plus 16 helps like a motherfucker sometimes.
It does.
Yeah. Like it just helps me.
I love that.
Like a motherfucker. If the 1200s had that, I mean, fuck. I'd be in heaven.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I mean, that's a perfect piece of machinery right there.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to go into the production.
Yeah.
How did you link up with Joe?
Joe and I worked together in Miami for 4 or 5 years.
Oh, wait, let me intro this right.
Yeah.
You're one half of Discotheque with Joe Maz.
Right.
You guys have been making remixes and edits for a long fucking time.
Right. So separately, we've been making edits for a while. What we did is we linked up maybe about 3.5, 4 years ago at this point, and we made a run for it towards the tail end of the EDM bubble, basically trying to get more. What else can we do to amplify our careers? What else can we do to go out there? And we were going to start our own group, and then Joe checked with the original members of Discotheque, who are Danny Days and Gigamesh, and they said just use the Discotheque name. So we put out our work as Discotheque for a good 1.5, 2 years. We did a tour of Asia. Then I had some stuff come up, and when I took a moment to like look back and reflect on everything that was going on, I was like, yo, we've put in a lot of work into this. Like this is way, way, way harder. There's so much hours. Like every day that I was in Miami, I'd go to Joe's house for 4 to 10 hours. This was for 18 months. And then when I wasn't there, I was working on the road. And from all of that, we just got like a small Asia tour. We'd get paid for some of these remixes. The majority of them were paid, but I didn't see enough movement and traction.
Do you regret using that name and not using your own name? Like
the only reason why I would have a partial regret is because
you continued a legacy that wasn't necessarily yours.
We didn't. Yeah, that's one thing. It wasn't my thing, and like we didn't push it to I think the furthest that we could have gone. Like I had stuff come up and we had to like take a break for a while. So then Joe just immediately shifted into putting out remixes in his name, Joe Maz Remix. So if anything, I feel like I might have hindered a year of him being able to do it.
Right.
and I took over, a piece of something that wasn't necessarily mine, even though we did put out some remixes. But I looked at it. The music business to me is like hitting a bullseye with a dart at 100 yards. It's like, it's possible to do that. You can throw a dart 100 yards and maybe hit a bullseye. How much time do you have and how many darts do you have, right? Some people get lucky and throw one dart, bam, they nail it with their first song. Incredibly difficult to do, very unlikely, right? For most of us, or most people in the music business, they will throw darts their whole lives and never hit a bullseye. Mm-hmm. And they just spent all this money on darts and all this time on throwing them, and they never hit nothing. Not even near the board, right? So I looked at it like that, and I was like, I love to DJ. I like to make music. And that was what was the defining thing for me after a while of reflection. Like, I love to play it. I like to make it. And so I couldn't spend more time doing that.
See, I would assume, or I would think someone as introverted as you and cerebral as you would rather do studio.
I didn't see the upside. There wasn't enough money for my time.
And is there the performance aspect of DJing? What does that help with you? Does that counter the introvert in you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So if it allows me to be in a room with a bunch of people and loud music and a lot of things going on, but I'm in control, which makes it okay.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm getting in your brain right now.
Yeah,
Pause.
You can keep coming. I mean,
You keep coming.
the reason why I do it, I think I've like really analyzed it, is because it gives me external validation. So like when I do a good job and I make people have a good time, I get validation. It's instant. Mm-hmm. It's like, boom, play the song you like in the right moment. Everyone's happy. I'm like, that's a hit.
Right.
You get, a little bit of dopamine. And then afterwards, the managers come up and you killed it. Great job. Boom. That's a hit. It's dopamine. Mm-hmm. So it's like external validation for what I'm doing is like what drives why I do it.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily get that with studio production or anything.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not until, you happen to land that bullseye at 100 yards and they're like, you're going to play our festival.
Yeah.
Mm. And I don't see that happening for a lot of people anymore in general.
I mean, what you guys were doing with Discotheque for a while was like, you guys were just killing it.
We were cranking out remixes like crazy. So everything that came out, the thing is we were selecting songs that we knew were going to pop. I was on radio in Miami, so I knew what the radio sheets were like, what they were expecting, right? Mm-hmm. So I knew that, and then like just having an ear for music, we're like, we got to take this one and remix it. So then by the time that song was blowing up, boom, Discotheque remix lands, and you're like, oh shit, here's a playable version.
You guys are picking the right songs too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. I have a question though.
Yeah.
And what made you guys? What was the thinking or the motivation to take another name? Instead
of being Joe Maz in Konflikt remix, it was an established name already that had some. They had a Facebook page already.
Yeah,
there was a SoundCloud already.
Whose idea was that, or whose thinking
it was
that?
Joe's. That had to have Joe's blessing and Danny Days' blessing and Gigamesh's blessing, because they were the original group. Mm-hmm. And they would put out edits on Crook and Clan and all this stuff, and they put out original production and shit like that. So it was Joe's idea. So my. Oh man, I just remembered my idea and it's terrible. But
what was your idea?
My idea was to be called the White Ties.
I was thinking JK.
The White Ties.
The White Ties, yeah. So like we have this
like a necktie.
Yeah, like a necktie. So we have a dope promo shoot where it's like half my face and half Joe's face, and we're wearing white ties. And I'm like, yo, that's perfect. It would just be the white ties. Hand out white ties to the people in the audience.
That's actually not
have
bad.
Have them put on a white tie.
That's actually not bad.
And like fling around ties in the audience.
It reminds me of what that rock band, The Hives.
Mm-hmm.
What they throw out bees?
Yeah.
No, The Hives. They had that one song, that one hit.
I know the song, but what did they do?
They had everyone was in black shirts and white ties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's what I wanted.
That would have been good.
But then he's like, yo, let's just use Discotheque. Everything's already registered, and I own the blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Cool. Let's go.
Yeah, I was trying to get the quick bag a little bit, right?
Yeah, that wasn't entirely the
at 50
Look,
yards.
I'm going to revert to the beginning of the podcast. Anything that puts me in front of more people and more places is something I'm going to do for my career. And I thought that would be it. Mm-hmm. And it did help a little bit, but I don't think that it did enough.
Yeah.
With the amount of time that you put into that shit.
I think it would have been nice for you guys to have a name, your own name, and to know that you guys did it.
Different.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there was an initial confusion. when the remixes were coming out and they're like, "Yo, that's Konflikt," and the what? Like it is, and it was just like that. And
but Joe loves it, right? Like he loves production.
He's still doing it. I mean, Joe's
probably one of the best.
Yeah, I think
top 5.
You guys had a conversation with another DJ about Joe. Joe's a real good open format DJ, and he cut his teeth on open format basically. It just happened to be that he also produces shit, so he hears things with an open format ear and then kind of like makes it more playable for the nightclub space. At the same time, what that's doing is he's trying to bridge a gap between what we do and record labels and or festivals that would be interested in a DJ that can play that kind of music. So I think that the whole idea behind his production is just more. What more can I do to augment my brand? What more can I put out there for people to consume? And what more can I add to the space to be a positive factor in what we do?
There was a question earlier on your Instagram Live, and I hate that I'm referring to a question that was on your Instagram Live, but
it works.
But it was talking about production and being a producer versus being a DJ.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, something like that.
If you were to look at Joe Maz, would you call him a producer first and a DJ second?
No.
You would call him a DJ first?
I would call him as close to 50-50 as you can get. As close.
What would you put yourself in? Obviously, more of a DJ than a producer. Yeah,
95% DJ, 5% producer. I mean, if Joe didn't hold my hand through all that producing shit, like I was an ideas guy, he was the technical guy. I was like, what if we do this and we do that? And once in a while, I'd write a melody or write something in there. But I made the majority of my contributions were helping, because Joe's the wizard at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you were just putting whatever DJ instincts for like tools of like everything. This would help if we did this.
So I would sometimes pick a song and be like, this is going to be the next hot one because radio. So then I'd throw that one and be like, all right, can we get an acapella somehow? And then I would try to use some of my avenues to get acapellas and some of Joe's avenues to get a potential contract to do a remix officially, so we didn't waste time and then make money off of it. And then it'd be like, what kind of feeling are we going for? When you have more people to bounce around ideas, you kind of get a better idea of which direction to go in. Whereas if it's just one person, you only get your own internal feedback. So it's like, I'm going to make a sexy beach remix for this song. Right? So like that's not the real feeling of the song. We should probably go this way, a little darker, maybe some more melodies in there, more harmonic, or pianos, or just a different idea. And then you start bouncing back and forth. And we have 10, 15 years collectively, or rather individually, collectively, it's like 30 years in this space. So we would bounce around ideas with each other and then get to a final product as a team.
Yeah.
Sounds exhausting.
It is.
It's a lot of work. A lot of work.
It was a lot of work, yeah.
So you don't miss any of it at all?
I mean, I miss hanging out with Joe on a regular basis and making music. I think the creative outlet is dope, but there's just no upside to it, in my opinion. Unless a label handpicks you and goes, you're our guy, you're our champion, you're our person, you're our horse, basically, that we're putting all these marketing dollars behind, I don't think you will find success. I think it's infinitely difficult now, more so than it used to be, because now people just get cluttered with a bunch of messages from every direction. Listen to this, buy that, come here, go there. And it's like, even if you have a good product, you're getting superseded by okay products that have millions of dollars of marketing and budget behind them.
So there'll be no more discotheque.
I never say never.
Well, hopefully they'll have... It would be the white ties.
So if you see the white ties in any of your streaming platforms,
I'm not mad at that. That's a good branding. Like you could easily do a good branding.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like even on like a flyer, like two white ties, that would look good.
So that was. I guess
might be something to that.
Wasn't such a bad idea.
You guys can you can steal it now because it's out there and I haven't patented anything.
Oh no, you
can have that. Trademark.
That's all.
That's all yours.
Konflikt.
I guess I like marketing for that reason, because I like resonating with people on an easy to understand level. That's what I think marketing is.
But you're not easy to understand.
Oh, well, hopefully the message I put out there is.
Huh?
Hopefully the message I put out there is. The white ties is easy to understand.
See, like, I don't know, man. I see you.
Just be honest. Tell me things.
No. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad. Okay. I'm saying my perception of you. I don't think you do anything wrong marketing. I think earlier I said, I think sometimes what you do in marketing, and I think you can be more yourself. And I think your complexity and maybe some of your what do you call it? Idiosyncrasies. I think that is more interesting to me, and I'm more interested in that. And I think that is more relatable to me, and it's a better marketing strategy than what you think is the perception of what a crowd wants to see from you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand completely. But thankfully, you already follow me on social media.
I do.
So I don't have to go after your vote.
Unfollow him.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll unfollow you.
Everybody unfollow.
Until you start doing it, how I think you should. Then
I'm after all the votes of people that don't care about what we do.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you got to be a little bit loud. Sometimes you have to be a little abrasive, a little aggressive to get the attention of people that might not be looking in your general direction.
I think the truth, and I think the brutal truth, is way more interesting to me. And I always think that when you see like someone talented or successful going through the same struggles as you or anybody else, like a shitty hotel room, missing a flight, me posting a video of me fucking up a mix on IG stories or something. I think that to me, and DJs laughing at me and being like, oh my God, like he fucks up too. Like he's not just posting shit or me fucking up. Like I think there was a couple of IG stories where I would post me mumbling on the mic or fucking up what I say on the mic or something like that. And to me, I think that's funny. And I don't necessarily be like, oh, well, I'm going to market it out. I'm just going to be like, yo, that's funny. And I bet everyone's going to fucking laugh at that. I got to show this stupid moment of mine. I think to me, you're technically, creatively, and what you do in a club, it's already sound. I think you're always gonna you're gonna kill it. You're always gonna put 110%. But I think you showing some of your flaws and just showing everything that's real, I think that's gonna pull more people in, and connect with you a little bit more.
For example, there was a tweet you did a few days ago. You said, I remember one night I said on the mic, it's Friday night, and the weekend starts now, but it was Thursday. I've never recovered from that. I think that shit was hilarious, and that was relatable. So that's what I think.
I understand what you're saying.
I mean, to be honest, you don't have to listen to a fucking word we're saying. I mean, I think it's very gracious of you to even be on this platform and say, guys, critique me and tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Ballsy.
Yeah. I think that in itself, I think is a great open aspect of you. And I think that in itself maybe more, I don't know. It may be more
relatable.
I think it maybe shows more a likability of who you are than the cocky, dry humor. But I think the cocky, dry humor is hilarious.
Funny, yeah.
You got to do that.
So soften the cocky, dry humor.
No, but you got to balance it out with some of your your idiosyncrasies or something like that.
I love the even the DJ videos you be putting up on Instagram when you like mixing shit like wordplay. I was like, that's just dope.
Yeah. I remember there was who did a video? Someone did a video of this flawless set, and then when you swipe to the next video, it showed how many times he fucked up.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was like more interesting to me, because it's like, whoa, it took him that many times. Like, and then you start respecting the video more. Like, yo, this dude literally spent hours and fucking hours on this shit.
1 minute video.
Yeah. Like, and you start. There's like a sense that like a, I don't know, like a level plane where it's like, yo, like I'm showing you this.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I mean?
I think in my head, the reason why I stay away from that is because I feel like everyone eats shit. Like everyone, you have moments in time where your life isn't going exactly how you want it to go. So you have moments where you get a flat tire, or you don't get the job, or you get fired, or they ran out of the bakery, the pie that you wanted to go get, right? Pause. No? Okay. I'm new here.
That's a real life fat boy problem sometimes.
So why augment that? To me, social media is more of a release. I understand what you're saying from a marketing standpoint. It makes a lot of sense. The more real the content that you're putting out, the more relatable and the more people will understand and accept it. Yeah. So I will work on that because I want to be the best me I can be. That's why I bring that up. And I would ask that of anybody that I respect. If they hear this or they see me and there's something that comes off the wrong way, for sure, let me know. Because I don't want to be anything except the best person I can be all around. Not just the best DJ, but like the best human. So if I say hi to you and you're like, oh man, like he just like completely ignored me afterwards, I want to know that happened so I can fix it and I can get better.
Are you okay with people thinking you're an asshole?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, because the door is always open for them to talk to me.
But then you're also very open to criticism.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So, look, your perception of me is going to be built in your head, right? Mm-hmm. So I can maybe influence that slightly. So if you have a problem with me for any reason and you think I'm an asshole, then just let me know. And be like, yo, when you did this, it made you seem like an asshole. Do you know, is that really what you want to put out there? Or this made me feel a certain way about X, Y, or Z, anything like that. Just start a conversation and then we can talk about it. I think that we, in general, have a problem. We have so many different avenues of communication available to us, but we tend to not communicate.
Right.
So I'm okay with people thinking that I'm an asshole because the door's always open for them to talk to me if they want to, and they can get to know the real me, which is, I guess, what you're seeing now. Mm-hmm. Which hopefully I'm not coming off as an asshole.
No. I'm just wondering. I'm wondering, like, because are you guys okay with people thinking you're an asshole?
I'm okay with that.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
I'm fully.
Sometimes it might be necessary.
I don't know. So I always go back to that DJ Vice episode when he said he was a people pleaser.
I'm about to say you can't please everyone. So.
That's another thing. You can't. So there might be people that come up to you and say, hey, I didn't like when you did this. And then you filter that through your head and you're like, well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Mm-hmm. So that could also happen too. Something that I did that you think makes me an asshole. Then you come up to me and you're like, yo, when you did this, you seem like an asshole. I'll be like, I don't think so. Okay. We're going to end up disagreeing. So there's nothing I can do about that. And I'm not going to change to appease you at that point. Like, I'm not going to bend over. But if you say, look, you were a dick when you said this, now I have a concrete piece of evidence to maybe work on and be like, I'll filter my thoughts and my words better next time.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't think you're an asshole.
Thank you.
I'm sure a lot of other people do.
That's okay.
Probably the same for me. So,
if they're out there, they can always, send me a message and we can talk about it.
On his at My Favorite DJ,
right?
On all across the board.
Yeah, I want to talk about My Favorite DJ. I think you're at a point where you could do DJ Konflikt.
Not gonna happen.
No.
Mm-mm.
You like that brand, that AKA?
It's not gonna happen. It's already ingrained. It's already built. It's trademarked. Even though Konflikt is trademarked, also, it's already there. Coca-Cola is not changing their name. Coca-Cola's like, I think it's time for us to be called the sweet can of sugar.
No, but Konflikt is Coca-Cola.
Yeah, Konflikt is Coca-Cola. It's like
you're like, okay, Konflikt's like Nike. My Favorite DJ just
isn't T.I. like Trouble Man 31 or something, and games like L.A. Confidential, and 2 Chainz is like some other shit.
Hair Weave
Killer.
Part because someone took their name and
right.
they don't know how to get it back.
I get My Favorite DJ because my friends be like, they refer you like that. I'm like, okay, it's Konflikt.
Sure.
Shout out to Paradise.
I get annoyed because when I had to search his name, I had to be like, what the fuck is it? And I'm like, oh, it's fucking. I would type in your favorite DJ. And then I was like, my favorite DJ.
How often are you searching for my stuff?
I don't know. Recently, before we were prepping for this episode.
Yeah.
And I got annoyed. So that's why I was like, I think he's okay for DJ Konflikt. But it could have just been for my search.
For your fucking.
For my search thing, for my research for this episode.
You want to go the extra mile, type My Favorite.
That is crazy. That is really lazy. You should change your name so next time I look for you, it's easier for me.
But I think you're at a point where like DJ Konflikt, I think it's
not gonna happen.
No, it's like Nike and then Just Do It. Just Do It is your shit.
Just Do It is my favorite DJ.
It's part of the branding because it's too difficult to spell. Like in Hollywood, if you have a weird last name, they make you change it. It's just how we operate in the entertainment space.
Jamie Foxx he changed his name because of that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, his real name is not Jamie Foxx.
What is it?
It's something else. It's like way. I
forgot what it is.
Oh, you closed the Google. Oh,
it's like something like way the fuck on the other side.
D, is there any?
It's not even close.
Is there any topics that we didn't address?
Oh, just briefly, I wanted to like discuss. I never asked you about Redbull 3 Style and your involvement with that.
Yeah, I did the battle. I think in 2015.
Uh-huh.
I made it to the national finals.
What city was it in?
The finals were in L.A.
Oh, okay.
We played, I think, at Lure. Is it like real big space?
LUER?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lure.
So you won the LA one?
No. I didn't win the national.
Which one did you win?
Who you
so
regional.
The way that the battles were structured then is different from now. They were local, regional, and then national. and then you went to World.
So you won local and regional.
Yeah, and then I got the national.
What was local? Miami?
Local was Miami. Regional was all of the southeast.
Mm.
And then national was the whole country.
So who were you
So
battling?
the national was in LA.
Yeah.
National was in LA.
Who was your competitors?
In the national?
Yeah.
It was Scene, Trentino, a DJ from Philly that I don't remember, and A-Rock from Orlando, and then me.
Who won? Scene?
Trentino.
Trentino?
Yeah.
Really?
That was a tough one.
Yeah, that was a real tough one. I found myself not being able to switch gears into that head. So like when you're battling, it's a different brain that you need than it is at the club. Mm-hmm. At the club, it's different, and I feel like my brain is already calibrated to the club, and to recalibrate for a battle is almost impossible for me, and I don't get pleasure from it. The moment that I knew that battling wasn't for me was actually at the LA finals. Mm-hmm. I didn't think I was going to win. I knew it was going to be either Trentino or Scene. And I thought that it was going to be Trentino the whole time because I had never really heard Scene. But Scene did a fucking magnificent set that night. It was incredible. He knew the room. When I was playing, you have a 15-minute set where you basically have your shit tightened up and every second counts. And you go from one thing to another, and you do your set. I had one trap song in the entire set. I didn't know that was going to work so well.
2015.
The second I hit that song, the whole crowd starts bouncing. And that was the first time that I saw a lot of motion. And I was like, if I was playing at a club, now I'm playing 15 minutes of this shit. But I already have my set, and I know that the song's ending, and I felt really sad. Yeah. Because I was like, not only am I losing, but now I look like a sucker because the one time that I actually play something that works, I have to get out of it because I have a timed set that ends on a certain note. So that's why from that point on, I was like, this is really not for me because I'm cool with the technical ability and I'm not the best in the world at that, but I think it's better applied. My talent is better applied when I'm playing music for people to have fun to rather than showing off what I can do.
Respect.
Yeah.
Did you... I never really see anyone dancing at those fucking competitions.
It's only like staring at
They're just standing, jumping up and
down.
Yeah,
it depends on a lot of things.
It's a very odd... well, I don't think it's an odd competition, but I think it's... I don't know.
It's entirely an odd competition. Look at how you're judged. You're judged based on how good of a crowd rocker you are, but you have a 15-minute premeditated set, and you're coming in cold without knowing what crowd you're playing for. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You're judged upon the thing that you're supposed to be judged on, but you're not even doing it.
It's weird because it's a DMC, but it's not a DMC. They don't want you to be a DMC.
It's not a DMC. Yeah. So you're not going to get a title, or you're not going to win if you're just the best technically. But then it's like you're supposed to play for the crowd, but you don't know the crowd, and you're playing in a different city. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I feel
really bad for like the dudes competing sometimes because I feel the anxiety. And
my God, it was terrible.
And when they get on the mic, like like, come on, get your hands up, and the crowd's like, oh, okay. And then, you know what I mean? Like they're just really trying so hard.
Super stressful.
Yeah.
How long was your set? 15?
15 minutes.
Damn. Long ass 15 minutes.
It's either too short or not long enough, depending on how you look at it. Because if we're judging the caliber of a DJ, it's like if I were to do a battle like that, I'd probably split it up. So it'd be like a month battle, right? So you have one DJ every Friday or every Saturday playing, and then you get judged upon it the whole night, not just 15 minutes.
That's kind of.
I wonder though.
That's a good.
I really wonder if the technical aspect was out of it, if it was possible.
I think it's. Oh, what do you mean?
Like if it was just
party rocking, like just quick mixing,
quick mixing.
Another thing, the DJing's, I'm sorry, the judging is flawed because you get 10 points for crowd participation, right? Let's say that you play a great set technically, you have great selection, great creativity, the crowd is okay into it. And then the local DJ comes on and has an okay set, not so good creativity, not so good selection, but everyone's jamming. As a judge, the energy in the room has to affect you, even if it's just by a point or two.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of an influence that goes in there if everyone's rocking with this one dude and you're like, oh shit, this guy's killing it. Look at the room. Now your judging score changes a little bit. I would like to hope, or I would like to think that the judging stays impartial and that they don't allow that effect to affect them, but they're human. So a bump in the energy is going to change that score, even if it's just a little bit.
Like that's what Momo was saying, right? When he did it, like he just knew the room and he just played the right tracks, and people were going crazy. And I think it might have affected it positively in his direction.
I love that he said he didn't prepare a set.
Yeah.
He just went on and just played a bunch of shit.
Did he win?
He won that.
He won that
the local.
That
Yeah.
local
Yeah.
joint. It was
Yeah, the
Brooklyn.
local one.
I thought about doing that. I thought about going in cold, like just no set. But
I think that would be a really refreshing and interesting way to go in. Pause. Like literally, just literally like free ball it. Look at the crowd and be like, I know what to play, and just like quick mix, and then work the mic a little bit. Pause.
I don't think you're allowed. Well, not that you're not allowed, but I don't think anyone works the mic that way. Like you're not like party rocking.
You can't use. The
I don't know
mic?
if you can or can't, but I didn't see anyone that I can remember like doing the Kid Capri while they play.
I think that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
I would like to see that shit.
Yeah.
I'd like to try it.
Either way,
once.
they cut budget.
But on a lower budget, like
the-
I don't know, like a lower scale.
All the prizes went down. So the year that I did it, it was 5,000 for local, 10,000 for regional, and I think 25 or 50 for national.
Oh shit!
How
I didn't
much
even
was
know
global?
money was involved.
Sorry,
How much is the global one? Like,
I think 100. It was
Oh.
either 25 national and then 50 for the world, or 50 national, 100
So
for
whether-
the world.
What's
Well,
the money
now-
now?
It's like quarters of that.
Really?
Yeah.
man.
So then I did it again. I think in 2016 or 2017, and obscene.
What made you want to do it again?
Quick check?
Huh?
A quick check.
What does that mean?
Money.
Money.
Quick check.
quick check.
Quick check, yeah.
Oh.
So I signed up and I was like, oh, I'll make another $5,000 off this shit and just call it a day, right? Which was problem number one. Then I found out they cut the money, and then I found out that if I went in with that attitude, I was gonna get my ass whooped, which I did. DJ Obscene was another DJ on my roster who actually went in there without thinking that. He's already thinking about the national title. So I went in like, yo, I'm just gonna make a check, and he went in, yo, I'm gonna get this accolade trophy on my wall, and he demolished everyone, and I didn't get paid.
Oh really?
Yeah.
got washed.
Yeah, because I think I got third. I think it was $500 for like third place or something like that.
They're like, fuck you.
Well, Jamie Foxx's name is Eric Marlon Bishop,
I told you something off the wall.
What the fuck?
professionally known as Jamie Foxx.
I feel like that.
He
shit
changed
would-
his name because
I feel like that shit would never happen.
because that sounded like a girl's name. So I don't know, some shit along those lines. That he
I don't
got
think
up-
that
Like
shit would
if
ever happen.
if your Instagram was Korean Blow,
yeah.
I think that's
kind of dope.
Yeah,
That is kind of dope.
you would have an easy way of people finding you.
Korean Blow.
Then DJ Crooked.
Yeah,
I should we all
like
get AKAs.
I kind of
should-
like it.
The
You know,
hamburger.
you know, people were
just register
they're
that Instagram
insulted.
now.
I'm not allowed to like use.
The
I have a
cocaine.
Korean blow. I have a Korean blow drop. And they don't want me to even use that.
Dude, that's like the sickest drop ever.
No. It's like I had a club out here that
Oh
not
yeah,
to use that anymore.
Korean
He told, I was there with you when he told
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Was it that or the cocaine?
It was both of them. They said, I said, well, I won't do the cocaine. They're like, well, both. You can't use either one. And I was like, all right,
Cocaine.
yeah. None. I didn't use that because
Korean Blow.
it was like too edgy. Now it is.
Inflammatory, flagrant.
Yeah.
You should still register.
I'm
it.
gonna come up with a fucking AKA.
Jamie the Great's good enough, I think.
Yeah, but
You
I kind
so-
of want another one.
Is that your Instagram, Jamie the Great?
Yeah.
No, you should-
That's everything.
That's easy to remember.
No, because they'd be like THE. Oh no, it's DA.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's not so easy to remember.
Yeah, you see?
Conflict is questioning your marketing now.
Yeah. I remember I started listening to a podcast where they put the marketing title. I'm like, all right, let me take some notes.
Yeah.
I'm still on the fence with my favorite DJ.
I get it. That's, you know.
When you put it into perspective of
Yeah,
Korean
yeah,
Blow,
yeah.
then that kind of like
Yeah, because I would go with Korean Blow.
It's confusing to me.
Korean Blow.
No, my favorite DJ.
Oh.
It was confusing to me when I first heard about it. When people were like, yo, this kid in Miami is popping. And I was like, DJ Konflikt. And be like, yeah. And I would like, I think we would like talk about you because you were talented. And then we couldn't find you. And then someone was like, oh, I think it's a different thing.
Well, if you look at DJ Konflikt on Instagram, how would you spell it?
I mean, I think we knew it was
C.
with a K.
CONFLICT.
I think we knew it was.
I knew it was with a K.
Okay, so if you do the first one, if you spell it the right way,
Does my favorite DJ come up anyway?
you get this.
You get somebody else.
This one like 200.
What does that say?
But did you have a K with the before the T?
Yeah,
Oh,
this is part of the problem. But
but
what?
you allowed this to happen. Because you didn't you didn't take
Read
this.
it out loud.
Oh, this is you.
Read it.
Please follow my favorite DJ. That is my current account.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Wow, you're young here, huh?
Is that a cover?
This is a while ago.
Can we use that as the cover?
Look at this arrogant motherfucker in his throne.
Let me see.
Let me see.
In his throne?
You cocky son of a bitch.
Let me see. Okay, this is gonna be the cover for the podcast.
It's an old picture. I have other ones where I look just as cocky that are newer.
That was cool.
And
The
then
throne?
if you look up the other way,
That picture literally looks like
if you look at the other way to spell my name,
before his plane crashed.
what does that say?
Before Konflikt's plane crashed in the
My
island,
active page.
and
Oh,
you
I
had to
see what you mean.
survive for like 5 years on his
Here's
own.
another one.
Yeah,
He
the other way you spell it. It's the same shit.
This is your marketing. This is like capture. This is cornering everything.
So I gotta go find the THE for the great.
I want to know who your 2 followers are on this account.
It's like him.
No. I don't know who it is.
That's funny.
Who are the 2 followers on? Oh, nice. A DJ and a club.
Wait, so the right way to spell it is KONFLICT.
KT.
It is KT.
It's KT.
This is the problem, yes? I mean, I got it tattooed for a reason. So now when I check into hotels and people are like, what's your name? And I'm like, it could be under my real name. And then they're like, no, we got nothing. I'm like, can you check? And it's always...
But that's every DJ's name.
What?
Like never. Like that must confuse a lot of motherfuckers.
It does.
Yeah. D Miles. A little bit.
No.
Yeah.
My favorite DJ is pretty easy to understand.
I guess.
So everyone should get an AKA.
You got to be that name where you make a motherfucker spell it right.
My favorite DJ.
On that note, is there anything else we gotta talk about?
I think we're good, right? You want
Yeah, man.
anything you want to touch on, Pause?
Plug in.
Are you still part of that company that does websites?
Yeah. So
actually-
I have a piece of a company that does flyers and DJ calendars and just overall DJ related graphic design. And that's called Make It Now
Is that
Media.
your background? Is that your background?
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
That's Make It Now Media. You can check them out on Instagram. That's what I would recommend, or makeitnowmedia.com if you want to look at that. I would recommend them for quick jobs, things you need quick turnarounds for. When a designer is tied up with a bunch of other shit and you want something like tomorrow or the day after, you can hit them up, and it's affordable. It's quick designs and shit that you can get done on the fly if necessary. Then there's another one called Miami Design House, which is more for the big projects. Like if you have a big website or you have a large EPK that you want to put together to present to nightclub owners or bookers, and that's miamidesignhouse.com. And then my podcast is My Favorite DJ. You just go and search for that
On soon to be the DJ Konflikt podcast.
on the podcast app. If you're on iTunes, you can just look up My Favorite DJ, and also on Spotify, My Favorite DJ, and it should come right up.
I got a question.
Yeah.
You're on Spotify, right?
Yeah.
Did you?
Shh. Not too loud, but go ahead.
Why?
No, 'cause go ahead.
Why?
No.
I mean, you shushed me. I'm gonna shush.
No.
Why?
Because I'm afraid you're going to bring up something that might get me in trouble.
No.
Okay.
Did you sign up directly with Spotify, or did you use an offsite?
I upload my podcasts to simplecast.com.
Simplecast.
Yeah, so they have a lot of the metrics that I mention on the podcast when I'm like, oh, we got a listener from this city, shout out to blah, 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 wherever, right? So it shows a map where everyone's listening. It shows the statistics of what podcast did what download on what day, like the top 10, et cetera, all that, right?
Yeah.
So through them, you can fill out a little form through Simplecast, and then they talk to Spotify directly. So like it was almost hands off for me. I just filled out that form, and then like a day later, they're like, "Congratulations, you're on Spotify."
Okay, because we were researching, and Spotify was like fucking $120 a month or something. It was something crazy.
How much is Simplecast?
I think I pay like $15 a month.
That's great. And
Unlimited storage?
Yeah.
And
The
it-
only problem is it brings down the quality of the audio to 128 kbps. So if that's a deal breaker for you, it's not a go. But the way that I see it is people consume this on headphones a lot of the times, and it's not getting played on club speakers really loud. So that compression of the audio is not going to be the worst thing in the world.
And does that link with with
Apple?
iTunes and everything?
Everything. Simplecast I upload onto there, and it goes out to everywhere. I think it's called through the RSS feed, something like that.
RSS feed.
Yeah. So
You don't use SoundCloud at all?
Nah, fuck SoundCloud.
Whoa, okay. Spicy?
Wait, why fuck SoundCloud?
Because they built their platform off of DJs, and then they said you can't upload shit, and then they said you can upload shit, and then they said no, you got a strike for uploading shit, and they just a terrible business model that started off with the right idea, and they just ran that company into the ground.
What about Mixcloud? You use Mixcloud?
I do use Mixcloud because it's catered to DJs.
Okay.
So anything that like we can use in our space and that represents us in the best way possible and has our best interest in mind, I will forever fuck with. But SoundCloud at one point was like, you can upload mixes now, and then they were like, no, just kidding, no, you can't.
JK.
Yeah. So and then it was like you built your entire business is built on the DJ's back, and you're telling us what we can and can't do. I get it. Record labels were going at your throat, but
shit was foul when they were deleting motherfuckers' mixes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit was foul.
the thing is also that you can get whitelisted, because we, like with Discotech, we got whitelisted on SoundCloud.
What does that mean?
It means you contact a record label, and the record label contacts SoundCloud, and they're like, yeah, this is good, and they leave it up, and you don't get a copyright or a trademark strike based on what you're uploading. So you can get whitelisted, which all of the big DJs that are putting up mixes and shit that they don't own are whitelisted. That's why they don't get a copyright strike, and they don't get their accounts taken away. But then the little guy like us that's putting out mixes to try to boost our brand, we can't get whitelisted, so then they kick us off their platform. That's why I said fuck SoundCloud.
Spicy.
Shit. On that note. Ayo, Konflikt, thank you so much for coming through.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
knowledge.
I mean, yo, great to have you. And
Thanks.
And yo, that's it.
If I'm ever coming off as an asshole on social media, will you guys let me know?
No,
I'll
never.
definitely hit you up.
Never.
I'll be like, yo, my man.
Just let me know.
Easy with
I'm not saying I'm going to change it, but I just want to know.
I'll let you know.
Thank you.
My man.
Why are you listening to Jamie, yo?
I don't know I don't know how the hierarchy works. I don't know who I'm supposed to listen to.
It's the start of a new friendship here. Keeping it honest.
All you're doing is opening the floodgates to have your comments filled with, yo, this is an asshole moment. Asshole.
Good.
Asshole.
And that's, you know what that is? That's
engagement.
That's engagement. It's an impression.
Analytics are going up.
Interaction. That's right.
Nah, I respect that.
Oh, my goodness. All right, man. Thank you, man.
All right,
Thank you, guys.